We're fucking faggots.
You don't calm down, man.
Hear my streets away from
Everybody's dead.
Alright, you little motherfuckers, little dick, little homies. It's your boy, I AM RIDDLEN on the street. Today's topic is the coronavirus and Johnny Walker motherfucking Black. What's up with it? You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to come back here on April 10th for your chance to get a copy of the Final Fantasy VII Remake exclusively right here with your boy, I AM RIDDLEN. And the little dick, little homie family. You know what I'm saying? If the game is still there. If it's still gonna be there. God forbid the coronavirus is gonna stop fucking video games now. Unbelievable. It's people like me that are making this disease great again. You know what I'm saying? But we got some interesting topics to discuss along my boy with Joe Rogan and this doctor talking some shit. So we'll have some entertaining shit in the background for you guys to listen to while we're playing Rainbow. Enjoy it.
All right, here we go. So what you said when you sat down was absolutely perfect. That the timing could not have been better. Well, tell everybody what you do.
Well, thank you. I'm for lack of a better term,
Yo, Bird.
I've spent my whole career tracking infectious diseases down and trying to understand where they come from so we can...
Well, when you get out of that game,
most of all,
just send me an invite because I'll still play boss. I don't care.
just like this. And just off the bat, how serious is this? Is this something that we need to be terrified of, or is this overblown, or how do you stand on this?
Well, first of all, you have to understand the timing of it in the sense that it's just beginning. And so in terms of what hurt, pain, suffering, death has happened so far, it's really just beginning. This is going to unfold for months to come yet. And that's, I think, what...
Yeah, if you need the match, though, aren't you going to get a fucking...
China,
a penalty?
Convinced, as are many of my colleagues,
all right,
send us in. All of these social distances, these mandated stay in homes, haven't left their home in weeks and weeks kind of thing. When they go back to work,
Steven, did you get
planes,
to do the tutorial
trains,
yet?
subway,
Like,
buses,
you
crowded spaces, manufacturing,
honestly,
even
bro,
China
like,
is going to come back again.
Sitting here
And so
listening
this
to
really is
music
acting like an
on
influenza
Tinder.
virus, something that
I'm about to
transmits very,
smoke.
very easily through the air.
I'm
We
gonna
now
smoke
have
a
data to
cigarette,
show that
and
you're
then I'm gonna
infectious
start
before you
bitch.
even get sick.
Can you just let Steve
And
be
in
his
some
own fucking
cases,
person
quite
for 1
highly
second,
infectious,
dope?
just
God
breathing
damn,
is all
man.
that
Just
needs.
always
Fucking
So from
piece
this
of
perspective,
shit.
I can understand why people would say, well, wait a minute, food kills a lot
Golden
more
gun,
itself every
dog.
year
Look
than
at
this
that.
does. And already remind people this is the beginning. Probably the best guesstimate we have
all
right
these
now.
fucking
on
old
what
people I
gonna
got to
love
take care of
this.
with the
this could be at
corona.
least 10 to 15
Oh,
times
Son
worse
Spartan's
than
back.
the
Hey, go on my
seasonal
fucking
10 to
stream,
15
man.
times worse
This
in
fucking
terms of
doctor talked to Joe
fatalities.
Rogan
Yeah,
about the corona.
and just
I was
tell me,
talking
in
about
fact,
it
I just
Gold and
brought some
gray.
Man, I
numbers
have to
with
deal
you.
with
That's
corona
illegal.
Conservatively estimate
every
this
day,
could
dog. I don't even want to deal with
require
I don't even
48
care
million
about it
You'll
anymore.
fucking go and
hospitalizations,
listen to it, bro.
96
You'll listen to
million
it.
No, I
deaths,
get 150 emails
over
a day from
480,000 deaths
fucking my chief about the
that can occur over the
coronavirus.
next
Who the
3 to
hell is
7
Nick
months.
Fix? Isn't that Burr?
Situation. So this is not one that to take lightly, and I
Sparta,
think
bro.
that's what I can
Oh, that's
understand if you
you.
say
Oh,
we
you're already
10
in
deaths
here.
or 20 deaths or 50 deaths.
I'm
Just
loading the game up
remember,
right
2
now.
weeks ago we were talking about almost no cases.
No, I was saying you were in my stream
and now
there
that
for
we're
a second.
testing for
Oh,
it
yeah.
and
I
watching
was,
the spread
I
as
peeped
it's
it for a bit.
unfolding, those numbers are going up astronomically. 3 weeks ago,
I always
Italy
be watching
was
sometimes.
just living life just fine. Now they're literally in a virtual shutdown in major
Oh,
parts
my
of Italy.
pussy hurts.
And that's the
I
challenge
sneak
with
in it
infectious
once in a
disease
while.
like this. It can spread very quickly.
Oh my God,
and
dude,
it
load
also
up
can affect
already.
people.
Jesus fucking
I think
Christ.
maybe to put this in
All right,
There we
well,
go.
we're waiting for
this is something
Burberry
we
still,
think of
so I guess I
often
got
when
a
we
chance
think
to
of,
go and smoke really quick, and then I'm gonna stick some dip in my mouth, man. Double the
There
nicotine
we go.
a day.
What y'all? What are you
Center
all
for
just
Infectious
now
Research
getting
at
on
Policy at the
fucking
University of
siege?
Minnesota.
I think
Yeah,
you
bro,
guys
I
should
had,
be.
I had to
friend
fill up
who
my
lives in
glass of
Milan,
Johnny
Italy.
Walker Black, you know what I'm
And
saying?
she
'Cause
works
my
at a
limo
hospital there,
driver
and she
spilled the
texted
shit on the
me
turns. I was like, yo, you see on the corners,
employee
baby.
of ours last night. And this was an email that came out
I was
yesterday.
like, yeah,
I
whatever,
figured.
motherfucker. Remember that shit
I
when you
figured.
emailed?
At the largest hospital.
Figured
When
y'all
you
were playing some games.
I
said,
just got a
hey,
very disturbing
what's
message
up?
from a cardiologist at one of the Milan's largest hospitals. They're deciding who they have to
this
let
desert
die. They aren't screening the
skin
staff
is
anymore
lit,
because they
though.
need all hands on deck.
Man,
And they have very
what?
small areas of the hospital dedicated to non-COVID patients, where
I
they
just got
still
some new
screen
grips.
doctors.
I bought
Everybody
some new
else
grips
is
for my Kimber.
dedicated to
I got
COVID
rid of those
patients.
fucking
So
wood.
even if
those
they're
wood
positive,
ones. I got
meaning
the
they're sick,
I got some
they
green and
don't,
white
but they don't have a severe
hard
cough or
plastic
fever,
ones.
then
They
they
grip
have to
better
work.
though. I like them.
He says that
Yeah.
that they're seeing an alarming number
Yo,
of
they
cases
got a
in the
cool ass
40
skin on Siege.
range
They got this thing called
and
For who?
Golden
these
Gun
are
mode
horrible
where
cases.
there's
So we need
an
to stop
arcade
thinking
mode
that
right
this is
now
only
where
an old
everybody has
person's disease.
a golden desert
But
eagle
this is
and
what's
that's it.
going to unfold, not just in Wuhan.
Sounds lame.
It's unfolding
I was talking
in
about
Milan,
on
it's unfolding
Siege.
here
Blackbeard
in
and shit, the
Seattle.
Deagle.
And this
No,
is
no,
what's
no,
going to
everybody.
continue to rollingly
It's a
Everyone's got a
golden
deagle?
gun mode
Yeah,
where
where did this
all you have
rumor
is a
come
desert
from
eagle.
that it's an old
Oh,
person's
what
disease?
the fuck
Is
is
it just
that in?
because the majority of the
It's
people
in
that have died
Siege.
from
You
it
gotta
so
play
far
that
have been
shit.
older?
Yes. In fact,
Beat
that's
up,
the
dude, boy.
primary risk factor for dying is being old and then having certain underlying
advice.
health
We're
problems.
we're
For
waiting on
example,
you,
in
bro.
China,
I'm out here smoking a cigarette.
those
Really quick.
men
We're waiting
over
on
the
you.
age of 70 who also smoked were 8 to
I got
10%
that
of them
podcast though
died.
running on my stream. Man, if you want to check it out.
65% of older Chinese men smoke.
It's a little
The
bitch.
case fatality rate, or the percentage of people who
Needs
die in
alcohol.
women in that same age group, was only about 2%.
Fuck.
In that case, very few
Johnny
women
Walker
smoke.
Black in your life, man.
Now, the challenge we have
I love
is
Walker
that
Black,
that's
man. It
the
just gives you a
Chinese data.
nice,
But
like,
there are a series
really
of risk
creepy
factors
buzz,
that we worry
man.
about.
Unemployment,
that
G.
overlay on this
Can't afford
disease are going to
anything.
cause bad outcomes. And we
I remember
happen
one
to be
time,
right
bro,
at
I think I
ground
went to
zero for one
Gasbro
of the
like
major
2.5
ones here in
years
this
ago,
country, and that's
and I
obesity.
had like, I think
We know
I
that
had like a
obesity
half
is
a
just like
bottle of
smoking
fucking
in
Johnny
terms of
Walker
its
with
ability
Black
to
left, man. I
really
just mixed
cause
that shit up with
severe
Coke.
life-threatening
Fucking got
disease.
hammered.
45% of our population
Man, give me the
today
Incredible
under the age
Hulk,
of
man.
45
Hypno
in
and
this
Henny.
country
What's
are
up?
obese
Well,
or
Johnny
severely
Walker Black is hard to fucking drink when you're walking
So one
around
of the
Tampa
concerns
and
we have is you're
Gasparilla.
going to see
You know,
more
so you can't have a bottle
of
on you in
these,
fucking
what I
glass.
guess I would
So I
call
just mixed it with
very
some Coke.
serious,
And I was good to go.
life-threatening cases occur in our country.
That was the stuff I used to talk
because
about
of
back in the
different
day,
set of
making
risk
that,
factors than we
making
saw in
that
China.
incredible Hulk.
Now,
Man,
you
what?
mentioned that
Fucking
there's some sort of
Hennessy?
incubation period.
Or
what?
they make him not to
People
drink more.
become sick, they're still
No,
contagious. What is this incubation period?
In certain places, I haven't seen hypnotic in a long time around here.
Call something an incubation. We're talking about from the time you and I got exposed.
Why'd you start? Yeah, I used to mix that shit with Fireball.
Tell me about it, right?
I don't drink Fireball.
To sit back and sip on though.
How long is that time period till the time period that you get?
I mean, unless I have it in with some rum chowder, bro.
So that's when cases every so many days. In this case, it's 4 days.
Dope.
So, and we actually have data there for people who were exposed one time.
When I worked at McDane's, bro,
and we know when
I worked at McDane's, the bar,
how soon do they get sick?
And that fucking shit came out.
So the chauffeur,
like the first week it came out, bro, we were drinking that shit behind the bar, left and right, bro.
Showing symptoms, then the chauffeur gets it 4 days later.
What are we doing right now?
They were there one time and one time.
We're fucking
the chauffeur does not show symptoms. He's still
he could also be contagious too, or he. And that's one of the things that's challenging here is you and I might get exposed to somebody who is totally asymptomatic.
What the fuck? I got this.
That virus would appear. Well, that's not a very
Why'd you go to Golden Gun?
But in fact, when it infects us, it can kill them. So we've seen.
Oh man, no one wants to play this shit.
Fatal disease that were exposed to people that had minor symptoms.
Oh, it's single fire? Ew.
Yeah, bro.
And this is what's unfolding here, and this is where I think it's such important. And I said why the timing is so.
You know what? I don't know, man. I think you might enjoy this, bro.
There's so much misinformation.
It's like Call of Duty, though, dog. It's like
yeah, this is dumb.
For a while. This is not going to happen overnight.
Oh,
I keep telling people we're handling this like it's a corona blizzard. 2 or 3 days, we're back to normal. This is a coronavirus winter.
Yeah, this is dumb.
We're going to have regular mode. 6 months that are going to be like this. And, so far this thing has been unfolding exactly as we predicted.
I thought I shot that guy, dog.
On January 20th, this been spread worldwide. At the time,
that was some good aim, though, dog.
We put out a piece the first week of February and said this is going to pop probably the last week of February, first week of March.
Yeah, this game mode's trash.
It's called an R0, or a doubling time. Of these every 4 days, so increase is doubling every 4 days. So if you go from 2 to 4 to 8 to 16, it takes a while to build up. But when you start going from 500 to 1,000 to 2,000 to 4,000, that's what we're seeing happen.
I'm hopping on Madden,
Italy.
See you later.
We're beginning to see it in some ways up in Seattle. It's what happened in China. And when people are confronted with that, suddenly this low risk phenomenon that everybody talks about is not so low anymore. And that's what we need to prepare people for.
Now, what can be done? Like, what can the average person do? I see people walking around with masks on, wearing gloves. Is that nonsense?
Largely, yes. First of all, let's step back. The primary mechanism for transmission is just the respiratory rate. It's just breathing. In studies in Europe, which have been published in the last 24 hours, they actually followed a group of people who had been exposed to some of the manufacturing plant. And then they had 9 people that, with this exposure, he said, if you have any symptoms at all, contact us. They all agreed. Well, they got infected. And so in the very first hours, just feeling bad, sore throat, they went in and sampled their throats, their saliva, their nose for virus. They did blood, they did stool, they did urine. And they found that at that very moment, when they first got sick, they had incredibly high levels of virus, sometimes 10,000 times that we saw with SARS. In their throats. Meaning they were infectious at that point already, and they hadn't even had symptoms yet of really any nature.
They detected outside.
Wow. And that's where we're concerned, because that's the kind of transmission. It's, I always have said, trying to stop influenza virus transmission, trying to stop the wind. We've never had anything successful to do this, other than vaccine, and we don't have a vaccine here. So what's happening is that people in public spaces are getting
shit.
And the way you need to address that is, unfortunately, if you're
somebody just came up behind me.
You have some underlying
this
health
game mode
problems,
sucks. Come on, man.
Unfortunately, a lot of Americans do. We have obesity.
And
then right now, you don't want to be in large public spaces trying to potentially get infected. So you can take care of that part.
As far as
what the public health do, we can talk about this. We're not going to have a vaccine anytime soon. That's happy talk. We close schools. One of the big challenges we have right now, if we close schools, what do we accomplish? In influenza, when we close schools during outbreaks, because it turns out kids get infected in school and they're like
murder, death, kill.
They come home and they transmit it to mom and dad, and brothers and sisters.
It looked good for a minute.
So we close schools sometimes. Christmas breaks are always great for kind of putting the
effect
on flu. In this case, kids are not getting sick
Unreal.
very often at all, which is one of the really good news features of this disease. In China,
I'm losing
only
viewers,
2.1% of the cases were under 19 years of age.
Why is like 10 people watching?
You know, we don't completely know.
You got 10
and I'm going to come to that in a second.
You got 10
they're
viewers
getting
watching
infected,
right now?
it turns out.
I
One
did.
study
Now it's
showed that
down to
still
fucking
get
3.
infected with the virus, but they don't get
Wow.
sick.
Because you're trash.
And we have that happen. There's
No, it's
a
because
disease
this
game
called
mode's trash, bro.
hepatitis A.
No,
where
it's because you're
we have
trash at this
outbreaks
game
of
mode.
I get the most viewers
And
that
the way
when
we know we
I'm
have an
smoking you
outbreak
and Madden,
is
bro.
because it's transmitted through the
Hate the
stool.
player, dog,
Tomorrow,
not the game.
his mom and dad and the daycare providers all get sick. And the kids,
You know what I'm saying?
those
You know what I'm saying, man? I
tests
need everybody to hit
are all
that like,
positive.
share, and follow
So
button.
some
And send me some
diseases
stars.
will
The more
manifest
stars you send, the more I
primarily when
fucking
you're
drink
adult,
tonight.
but
What's
as a
good?
child. This one appears to be the same. So we close schools or not, if we're not really spreading the disease, because it turns out that if we close schools, a recent study done showed that 38% of nurses today in this country who are working in the medical area have kids to school. And suddenly we're closing schools for 2 or 3
Behind
months
us, Bert.
to take care of those kids. 1/4 of the American
boy.
population has
Sorry
no
about these
sick.
scrubs.
They have to stay home. So when you ask what can we do, we have to really be
Creeping
thoughtful
down the hallway.
about what we do. Are we doing more harm than good by closing schools, for example, even though everybody will say, oh, we got to do everything we can? Or do we just tell people, you know, it's going to be limiting your contact as much as you can, and that's really about what we can do.
And limiting the contact, is that really going to help?
It does, because it's like putting rods in a reaction. If you don't have as much close contact, you can, you know, not transmit as much. If I'm sitting in a room with 100 people and we're kind of sharing air, the transmission's remarkable. Right here, you know, off the coast of California, you've got your cruise ship. Cruise ships are notorious for recirculating air inside the inner cabins. We've had a number of outbreaks.
That's why they're having these outbreaks on cruise ships?
And then you leave them on there. I think the cruelest human experiment we've done in a long time. Humans is leave them on the ships, get them off right away.
Should they get them off right away?
Absolutely.
What should they do with them?
Well, they can put them in quarantine or some kind if they want and follow up on them, but you're guaranteed they're all going to keep getting infected day in and day out.
It seems like we're not really prepared for something like this, although the CDC's been telling us for a long time that we should be.
You know, we are not prepared at all, in the sense. You know, I wrote the book,
That's a clean shot, boy.
Deadly
Clean
Enemies,
shot.
that was published in 2017. Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Get it?
No. And
MDK
in
up in this bitch.
chapter 13, the title of the chapter was SARS and MERS, a harbinger of things to come. You know, we
Oh, boy.
predicted this. And then I wrote a chapter on there, what a flu pandemic would look like if it emerged in China. And if you read it, it's exactly what's happened. The supply chains went down. China locked down the country. It spread to other countries. People all pointed fingers.
No, I
And
need y'all to hit that like, share, and follow
the kind of
button,
thing
man.
where
Send
we
me some
hear it in the book, but we
stars.
don't get prepared.
Send some
You know,
stars.
5 years ago, I
Drink some
gave
more
a
Johnny
talk
Walker Black. I
at
got a
Clinic,
whole fucking bottle of this
First time I
shit.
talked about this, and we talked many times afterwards, and I showed a slide of Puerto Rico, a picture of Puerto Rico, and then I showed
Know
the
what I mean?
map, and then I showed a picture of
trying
a
to
building in
give
Puerto
them
Rico, a
allowance.
nondescript building, and I said, this is our next
Nah, my
big
room looks like
disaster.
shit right now, to be
Turns out
honest.
that 85% of all the world's production by VFAC
Bro, and it's like weird, bro. It's so weird,
were
though.
made in these
It's
plants.
so
in
weird,
the
though,
United
because like,
States. And all we needed was
I clean my
one
room,
Category
right?
5
And I don't do
hurricane.
I
nothing
did
but
some
come
clean cleaning
home.
Maria
today.
came through
Hey,
a
Mine
year and
was
a half
a
ago.
little rough. My whole house
And
is
the world
just
went
wrecked.
into a
It's just
major
weird, though, because I'll
crisis
clean
with
my room,
shortage of
bro.
bags.
And then,
Now,
like,
that was
I don't
so
do nothing
obvious
but
that
go
was
to
gonna
work,
happen.
come home,
And
change
yet we
my
don't
clothes,
prepare.
and I usually
And
hop
then
on
it
the
gets
game. And,
dirty
like,
somehow.
I know, I
and
agree.
it just
And
fucking
that's what
just gets
hopefully this is a wake-up
annihilated,
call. The
bro.
business community, I hope we will
Just
wake
gets
up.
annihilated.
You know, one of the other things we're doing
It's
is
white trash,
oh,
to be
this is
honest.
really
Whoa!
one
Behind
of
us,
the
behind
things that
us.
has me most concerned about this whole situation
Behind us,
is
right
our
here,
group
dope
has
man.
been studying for the last year and a half.
Come on, buddy.
I got
With
flash.
support from the Walton Family Foundation, looking at critical drug charges. Well, it turns out that we identified 153 drugs in this country that people need right now. I mean, it's on the crash card.
Oh
It's
my
acute
god, I
critical
got knifed all
drugs.
3 of us.
100% of them are generic.
Game mode's trash.
All of them basically are made offshore in the United States.
I just lost all
And
my
a large
viewers,
part of them are
man.
made in China
Thanks a
and
lot,
India.
Rich. Thanks a
And
lot.
at this point, we have shortages anyway every day, just before this crisis happened. Now these supply
Alright,
chains
thank
are
God,
going
man.
out.
Get us out of this
Our
fucking
group
game
is
mode, man.
actively
I'm putting the
helping the
snuss
United
in
States
right
government
now.
try to figure out,
That
you
shit
know,
was
where they
tight,
get these
dog.
drugs. Now just
I'm
think of
putting the
this.
snuss in,
If
bro.
I came to you and said the
When the
Defense
snuss comes
Department
out,
was going to
Fucking
outsource
guy
all the
can get
munitions production to China,
fucking
you'd look at me and say,
Black on the rocks and
you know what?
choose
The
fucking
U.S.
lips
Defense Department
nuts,
has
bro.
more access to these drugs.
Wow.
They are beholden to China.
whatever, bro.
Leave the ice out, dog.
690,000 Americans
Get
have
yourself some
end-stage renal
Copenhagen
disease right
Rum
now.
Gut Mint, man. That's
Most
fucking
of their
beautiful,
products
Nah,
are
man.
coming from
I
China.
can't do that shit, man. I
And
don't like
no,
now with
spitting
the
that much,
shutdown,
man.
And what's happening with this, and this is what I talked about in the book.
You're not a real man, bro.
I'm
trying to help you, bro.
So
I
even
invented being a man,
all
bro.
it's not just about what the virus does to you.
Man.
It's about what the entire system.
I want to see you graduate.
The Buccaneer gods have answered my prayers, bro.
Jesus.
Yeah, they have.
You
Fucking AP and fucking.
Well, but that's before we get done here. We're going to talk about what we can do to get people out. Because this is
it's too late.
We're good to go.
No. What I mean is we're going to bring you around to take. You know, my job is not to scare you out of your wits. It's scare you into your wits.
Let me ask you something about sauna.
Shitty again for
One
10
of the things
years.
that I
I'm good
read
with that.
was that
I'll take the 1 year with the Super Bowl. Feel me, players?
That 20
Switch this
minutes
game
in a
mode up,
sauna,
bro.
in a really hot sauna, is very good for killing some of the virus.
Is it on
Get your life together, man.
Jesus Christ, these people. Yeah, there was some sauna facts thing that was being pushed around that it's great for flu and all sorts of infectious diseases.
Actually, it's great for it. I mean, it makes you feel good, but we don't have any evidence that makes any difference.
Make sure you cross.
Why so it doesn't have any impact at all? The idea was that the breathing in of the very hot air.
How come everything I do is uncool and everything you guys do is cool, bro?
See, if that temperature
is not cool,
we're cool.
you say is cool,
your lungs will be fried.
Exactly.
I don't have to take this shit.
So what happens is just from the time you breathe it in and what you mix it with the air there, it's kind of like taking a cup of hot water and putting it into a bathtub of cold water. And so what happens by the time you get done, it's not that hot.
This is a little dick little
in this
homie
case,
squad,
your
man.
lungs couldn't stand even 110 to 20 degree heat without causing really severe damage.
They
And
call
so
me
it doesn't
King
kill the
Dingling out
virus
here.
at all.
Wow.
So it would the virus has to be like just in your mouth or something like that. Even then, no.
No.
What's up?
Steven's still on Tinder, dog.
No, I'm playing the game.
That's unfortunate. Because that was exciting. I was reading that. I was like,
Don't stop using the sauna. It's a good thing to use for your skin and everything else. But
no homo, dog.
It's not going to help you with this.
I got a grinder.
So how does it cool the air down? What's
hey, Steven, man, you trying to buy a fucking love seat?
In terms of when you ingest
lungs, right?
Yeah, well, you basically it's a mixture of you know when you breathe out, you don't breathe all the air out.
Bro, you can do anything you want in this love seat, bro. Anything you want, bro.
You'd almost be dead. You couldn't do the tidal volume.
Still got a sweet smell in my ass.
Every breath is
definitely want this.
In other words, you have so much air in your lungs already. When you breathe out, you breathe just a little bit of it out.
No homo,
dog. Bring more in, out, in and out.
No homo,
and so when this mixes in, the hot air like that.
Say what the fuck did I say that was gay?
In Minnesota, when you're 45 below zero, we have the same problem. We don't freeze our lungs. Okay, you know when we breathe in, it may feel cold. And so it's just there's so much in there that it mixes with the other air, and it ultimately doesn't. The temperature of your lungs don't change.
Even if you're doing like some crazy deep breathing exercises where you slowly exhale all the air out, there's nothing left, and breathe it all the way in.
Bomb location is compromised, bro.
I'm giving you my best shot at it. It's not going to make much difference. Sorry.
I've always wondered that about like people that are in like Alberta and it's like 50 degrees below zero. Like how do they do that?
Yeah. Well, we do it all the time in Minnesota. Well, we don't anymore in Minnesota. It's getting warmer there every winter. But
part of the problem, right?
Yeah, we surely know what cold air is like.
Well, so much for that myth. Myth number 2, well, I don't say myth, I should say rumor, was that this was something from some sort of a biological weapons thing that was leaked. Right, because Wuhan is.
I don't think they like that.
Well, part of China.
Did they like that?
Actually do work on biological weapons.
And we've heard that loud and clear. And let me just give a little bit background on more of my career. Back in the early 1990s, I got very involved in the whole area of biodefense and bioterrorism, biowarfare. It turned out I was involved with helping to interview and get information from some of the Russian bioweaponeers after the wall fell, Russia collapsed. We had all these experts coming out who'd been spending their whole lives making bioweapons. And it became very clear to me this was really a serious challenge. And as part of my work, I spent a lot of time in this area, and I actually, through a series of serendipitous events, became a personal advisor to His Majesty King Hussein of Jordan before he died on this topic. I got really into it. I wrote a book that was published on 9/11 of 2000 called Living Terrors, What Our Country Needs to Know to Survive the Coming Bioterrorist Catastrophe, and I think I bought 8 of the 12 copies that were sold that year afterwards. And then when 9/11 happened, of course, it became prominent. And then I went on to serve on a group here in the United States that was basically the National Science Advisory Board on Biosecurity, safety issues. So I've had a lot of experience in this area. And so I bring that to the table and I tell you there is no evidence whatsoever that this is a bioweapon or that it was accidentally released by life. Today, with the genetics we have on these viruses,
on the steps right now.
We can almost date them, almost like carbon testing. You know? So of radiocarbon, and you want to know how old a block is, or something like that. This thing clearly jumped from an animal species third week in November.
Got him.
And pangolins.
Behind you. Oh, fuck.
Are a very good source
in the
because
window.
we have coronaviruses just like those in these animals. And it got into a human. So, you know, we've surely had a lot of challenges with that, but I don't believe
Next to
that
that light,
there's any evidence linking
I read
this to
Arabic, but
one
next to the light.
intentional release
He's
or
droning
an
in.
accidental release, or that it's an engineered bug. It's not.
My friend Duncan and I did a show back in 2012-ish, somewhere around there, with Sci-Fi, where we went to the CDC in Galveston, and we talked to them about that very thing. And they said the real concern is just actual diseases. It's not man-made diseases.
And
it's just naturally occurring diseases.
That's exactly it. I mean, look, we could not have crafted a virus
somebody else
like
on
this to
cams.
do
I
its
got
doing.
the
I mean,
garage
we don't
cam
have the
for 'em.
creative imagination or the skill set. If somebody said, "Okay, I
see
want to find
anyone
a
on any
virus
of
that
the
will take
cameras,
out
man.
a lot of people," okay?
Yeah, somebody
This
else
one,
jump
Mother
on
Nature
garage
does
cam
it
because
so
I
much
know
better
there's
than we could
another
ever
camera
do it.
room.
And you know, whether it's Ebola, whether it's this one, or it's antibiotic resistance, any
Let's
of these
go.
things. I mean, you know,
Let's
you're talking
go.
earlier about the potential chronic wasting disease to be a problem for humans. You know, Mother Nature is doing it pretty well on her own.
The chronic wasting one really scares me because there's so many people
Dog,
that have
I
a vested
literally
interest
blew a
in
hole in the
dismissing it.
garage and ran
I had
outside
our good friend
around the
Doug
corner of the
Byrne
truck
on the
and killed 2 of
podcast
those
with,
motherfuckers.
I don't remember the gentleman that he brought with him.
Brian
the
Richards.
But did you die,
Brian
though?
Richards, who
I know they
explained
ain't
the
like
science
that.
behind it.
If he
And
dies, he
there are
dies.
so many people that are dismissing this because either they
If he
enjoy
dies,
deer
he
hunting
dies.
or they
If he
want
dies,
captive
he dies.
cervids to be something that are still something that you could be released
Down
on
to one
private
viewer,
property because people
That's what
grow
I mean.
and
You
breed
could have
deer
like
and then
15
sell
people
them to
watching, but you had
ranchers
to
who
put
want
that
deer in
golden
their
gun
properties,
bullshit.
particularly
Unreal.
large deer. And I mean, guys that I
This
talked
guys
to
trying to light
that
it apart now.
are dismissing it. I can see the chain of events that they want it to be not a concern. But if you see what it's doing to deer, it's terrifying.
died,
It's
though.
100% fatal.
He died, though.
The DNA exists on
He
plants for
dies. He
years.
dies.
I need
They
a like,
leak it
share,
out of
and
their
follow, man.
saliva.
God
They
damn
leave
it,
traces
Steven.
of
Follow
it
my
everywhere.
stream.
And in Doug's area, there's somewhere near there. There's like 50% infection rate.
Right. I think this is really a significant challenge. I was involved back in the 1990s and
You see this on
the
Facebook?
1980s when Mad Cow.
Yeah, it's under I AM RIDDLEN, bro.
And at the
Send
time,
me the fucking question.
Search it.
You invite me.
Play
the game, nigga.
These prions are what causes
It's
disease.
fucking
And people want to
unleashed.
dismiss it.
You
that
can
people
pause
are
it.
Get sick. Well, then we realized 10 years later, all these human cases started to show up.
Unreal. I get no
from those
respect.
exposures 10 years before. And it took a while before
make money.
those prions obviously changed in the cattle to get to the point where they
You know what I
infect
mean?
humans. Well, the same thing is happening with deer. If you look back,
I'm trying to
on
make you part of the little dick,
deer
little homie
population
family,
that were
man, and this
infected
is how you
30
treat
years
me?
ago, and you look at it today, the prions are constantly changing, they're mutating, they're new strains, and they're getting more human-like all the time. And one of the things our center is doing is working on that very issue of trying to help people understand that the studies that were done 15 or 20 years ago looking at how infectious these might be for humans were really well done. They were good, but they had different strains. And over time, these strains are looking to be more and more like they could infect humans, or they could even infect cattle, which would be another huge challenge if that happened. And so I think
Right here,
your
my
point's
left,
a
my
really
left,
good
right
one,
here,
and
the
we
right
know
next to us.
today that there
Burberry.
are probably
I
at
can hear
least
him.
17,000
Something smart. Be careful on your right.
deer
Right here.
consumed in the past
told you.
year that were actually positive for prion, and people went ahead and ate them anyway. So I worry about that too.
That's terrifying. So these people have these
Oh,
prions
bro,
in
I
their
just got
system
shot in the
now,
right.
but then currently they're not.
Oh my
they're
God,
not
bro.
making
I
the
just
jump
told
to
Smarter
cause.
to watch that
what
back
is
right
it,
side behind me.
Creutzfeld's
Yeah,
disease.
Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease,
Creutzfeldt-Jakob.
which is one. Yeah, it's kind of a. We don't know that humans.
Oh, I
are
got him
getting
with my
infected. One of the
cap
challenges,
track
we don't have a
though,
test
too, man.
unless
So
you
he got
die.
hit by that,
And
so
then
he's
that's the heck of a
50%
way to
dead.
have to get a test result. Okay, so one of the challenges you don't know this until you actually show up with the signs and symptoms
In the garage.
And so
on
one
my
of the
ping.
things that we're looking at carefully is doing surveillance or disease detection
In the
among
garage at the
people that
top.
might present with this. If it's
Marked
going to
it.
happen, I suspect the naturally occurring prion-related diseases like Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease you just mentioned occurs typically in older people over 70. If you suddenly start seeing a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old,
He's in the other room, dope man. The room that you just came out
you
of.
got to start
He went to
thinking
the right.
what else is going on, and so that'll help us detect
Not
it
down
in
there.
cases.
The other
But then
way.
we've already failed. then we've had 10 years worth of
The door that you just
transmission
came
war
through, you
potentially
went to the
before we
right
get the
side
first
of it.
human cases like we did with mad cow. And so our message has been right now, hunting is really important. It is a very important part of our society. Frankly, it's the way we manage deer herds, thank God. It's a huge economic boon for running the kinds of DNRs, et cetera, we have. We balance the back, as you know, from sportsmen on these licenses. And so we don't want to stop hunting.
I'm not getting any
But
sound
we've
from
got to make
Burberry
sure
when
that
I'm watching it.
make sure that people aren't getting infected. And one of the things that our group at University of Minnesota is working on is test now.
I'm gonna call it a night and sleeping.
Detection tests. So if you shoot an
Outta here,
animal,
man.
could you know very quickly?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Before
good
you
catching
should
up
before
with
I
you.
go to
And then you
sleep.
know not to process.
Yeah, I'll probably see y'all more
And that's what we need
often.
to get at.
Well, not only that,
Hopefully.
but prions. What's terrifying is how
We need a black guy in the party again, man.
I mean,
It's
we're
too
all,
white
we're
in here.
only off for,
how
we're only
ridiculously
fucking
vigorous
6
they
months
are.
together, so I
You
hope
can
we see
boil
it.
them at 1,000-degree temperature
Hopefully.
for hours and hours.
I
and
gotta
hours.
see y'all tomorrow.
That's right.
When they're
man.
sanitizing
Let's
medical
shout.
equipment that they've used
All right, man, black
on
dick, black
mad
homie,
cow
we'll see ya.
patients,
Shout.
or whether it's cows or humans with these prions,
Shout.
they've been able to
My
do
bad.
it
I was like,
3
I
times.
was totally fucking.
So
my
try to
sister called.
sterilize these things. Like the sterilization
that
process.
scratching- fucking your
What is the
sister?
temperature that they
No,
do?
it's
that?
not.
Well, they do it both temperature and
That,
but it's
that's-
in the hundreds and
that's
degrees of
what I
high
heard.
blood pressure. And I've actually been involved
So
with
that's
several
what takes
cases
so long.
where
Oh,
these
yeah,
very
my
equipment
bad.
we're talking
Yeah, we're
about
kinda like
were
that around
accidentally used on somebody like
Scratchy
so
finders,
Keeping it, so
They had to
that's my
let them
favorite
see
scene
upset.
in
They couldn't
Ferris
even
Bueller's
steal.
Day Off, where
Yeah,
the
that's
girl
what's
kisses
insane.
Ferris.
You
He's like, so
can't
that's
cook
how
this
it's done in
stuff.
there.
That's why
Just
we
like that.
want to make sure that if you're
I
eating
basically live my
deer
life like Ferris
cervids
Bueller.
right now, that we have to.
I always
Like,
watched
how
Ferris
is
and I think
Bueller.
fire
When I was a kid in high school and I would skip school, I would always watch that movie first before I did anything
We've
else for
had
the rest
far
of the
too many
day.
examples, and Doug has shared that with you. Just the extent to which
Yeah,
we
that
see,
Scratchy Pine guy,
state
that
by
fucking
state
killed
by
me,
state,
started sending
slowly
me party
getting
invites
picked off
on that
because
first
somebody moved
round.
a trophy deer
bitch.
from state A to state B, and it was
Yeah.
He likes you,
infected,
man.
and it got out. Or
Yeah, I
others
know.
got out of
Trying
it.
to suck my dick or
Pins
something.
in
Just
it.
trying to meet up.
Yeah,
Yo,
now,
this is
have you
weird.
ever
I'm
had
not
to jump
getting- I'm
to
not getting any
bison
sound.
or elk or any of those
Like,
other animals yet.
When I'm
Not
driving
yet.
the drones.
Oh,
there's
no,
several
that's
like
like
kinds
that
of
to me
deer,
too, bro. Like,
but
like the game
not
was
those.
clearly
Mule
give like I
deer
was
so
getting no
far,
sound from
there
you.
has been some
Specific from
cases
the
in the
game.
West.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah, and
primarily
you only hear
whitetails,
your,
right?
Exactly.
your side
Yeah,
now.
and then
You
there's
can't help
been
out your
a deer
teammates
in
anymore.
Korea, a type of deer there, and one in
You're
in,
dead.
The Scandinavian.
He
country.
dies. He dies.
One.
Yeah, I mean, the different kinds of deer types that are
Not
there.
today, bud.
Yeah. So
Good try,
the one we
bud.
worry about right now
Where's
is
Burr at?
getting
the same
into
problems, you know
the
it?
caribou in northern
you guys-
Canada.
can you hear
Right
me?
now, the range
Now
of
we
the deer
can.
that are
I don't know if you were
infected
talking.
in the provinces of Canada is
Right in here, I'm
flooding up
thermite.
with caribou. And of course, it's not a hunter.
No, I'm not. He
But
came up
caribou,
behind me.
obviously, the
Motherfucker.
herds are remarkable.
He's in the corner.
Unlike whitetails. or
Corner where the
that matter,
shield
elk.
is.
If you got it into caribou, it would likely spread very quickly. And as you know,
Walk
the native
right by him.
populations,
Motherfucker, bro.
caribou are key. They're key to their livelihood.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want to see it get in the caribou.
Now, I didn't even know that it was in Canada.
On my
What
ping?
parts of Canada has it
In front of B, there's a guy on front
Throughout
of
a
B.
number of provinces, I think there's 4 provinces now. It's in. It's
right in
again,
the
it's spreading. It's the
bomb.
same phenomena that a
Areas of
combination of a deer movement with cervid farming, and then once it's in an area, it'll keep migrating a bit and a bit as these animals move somewhere. But as we know, deer don't fly 4,000 miles every season. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not that kind of movement. If we're going to see a big movement, it's
Yeah,
humans.
they must have took off the sound for when you're
as our
watching
good
your
friend
teammates, so
Doug
you
Duran
can't help
has
them out
been
anymore.
doing all this work to try to alert people about it, and also they're putting up these testing.
Because I have full
places
sound when I'm
where
in the game
hunters can
playing,
bring
and
in
once I
deer
die, I
and
don't
have
get
the
any
deer
sound.
tested. How much of that
I
is
still got sound.
available to people around the
That
country?
cat cam right here on
Not
ping.
nearly, no.
I think.
When
And
you're
that's
alive
what we
or
need to
when you're
work
dead?
on is if you
When I'm
don't make
dead?
it easy and convenient.
Yeah, I can only hear the
as you know,
drone.
it's not
I
gonna
can't
get
hear
done.
footsteps or
Yeah.
anything.
And so it's hard enough to convince people that there's really a
Gunfire when I'm
problem,
watching
because
somebody.
people don't want to believe it, even if they know that there's CWD in deer in the area, and we have some like that. But I think the tide is changing. More and more people are sensitive to it. They want to have access to testing quickly. But if it's going to take you a month and a half to get the test back, you know what it is about
Is it that
processing
long?
Well, in some cases they get so busy because
just doubled
unlike
us.
laboratory testing for an entire year, where I do 1/12 in January, 1/12 in February, et cetera, deer season typically is very concentrated in just a couple of weeks,
Slightly
to a month
distracted.
in the fall. And so the problem is all the animals come in at that time, so your lab capacity has to handle that huge surge all at one time. And so sometimes it takes a while to get it back.
So these hunters just hope they don't
On ping.
take a bite. during that time.
Yeah, and we hope that these prions don't ultimately infect people and jump. But if they do, I worry what will happen to deer hunting as we know it, because probably a lot of people will, not continue, and we need that desperately for herd management. I mean, it's the way we do it.
Well, what they're doing in Doug's area is they're actively trying to eliminate a lot of deer and try to drastically lower the numbers.
Yeah, dude, look at this fucking flick, bro.
Whoa.
Yep, they do. Yep.
Yeah.
What a fucking
It's all really
MNK.
scary stuff. Because if they do make the jump to humans, I mean, it has made the jump to, I believe, mice. Is that the case?
Well, what happened was originally it
John,
didn't.
He's over here saying he's playing. He's over here saying he's playing Bless.
It's not a problem.
I'm a little dick little
Now,
Meanwhile,
Sorry,
he's
John.
looking at his mouse and keypad.
Basically, much more like the human.
What's
We're
up,
now
boss?
seeing that jump occurring. And these new strains, see the strains that again were around 20
Just
years
made that
ago,
guy
are
look
the
like a
same
pro.
ones today, because as these
Yep.
prions
Way to
continue
go,
to
scrub.
pass from
Wasn't enough
animal to
time
animal
left.
to animal, they go through these little minor
Clutch a
stages.
kick.
And they're getting more and more and more like what a human transmissible prion might look like.
Making
So these
really
life
look
studies
bad on
now
his stream,
they're
dog.
really made to mimic a human.
Yeah, he's probably got
We're
zero.
starting to see
Probably
that
got zero
jump.
viewers now
and
because
folks,
of
I got
all
three
this.
right now,
Bam,
Deer
Coco,
with
see
CWD.
how many
You
likes
should
I can
go
get?
and
You know what I'm saying?
Google it,
Nick
'cause
Fix
it's
it, could've just
terrifying.
shared my
How
stream to
that
your
can
wall.
make
That'd have been
jump to
cool.
human
Yeah,
beings.
dude, they're
trying to
do it.
How to
People
do that.
pouring saliva out
They're
of
trying to
their
do
mouths
it.
and
Fix.
their whole body
When you
just
go to- when you-
wasted away to skin
When
and
you, when you
bones.
go to it,
That's what we're looking
and you're
at.
looking
and
at
that's
where
why
the
it's
chat
called
screen where you can
wasting
comment,
disease.
the share button's to the left.
Literally waste away.
We actually have a major resource center on our website, free of charge, open, and it's all on chronic waste and disease.
Share
People
that
can
shit to
go
the
there.
wall,
It's
bro.
www.cidrap,
That's another way for me to get
CIDRAP,
famous, too.
Oh, here we go.
Account.
Remove this
You can go there
notification.
and all
There
these
it is.
pictures,
Oh, all right,
all the
that-
kinds of
Repeat
www.
That's what I
Not
tell
only
people.
that,
That's what I tell people. I was like, look, if you don't like watching
CIDRAP.
video games, just
Yep,
give me
just
the
Center for
follow
Infectious
and then
Research
just
and
fucking hide the notifications. I could care less.
.umn.edu.
.umn.edu.
And we have a lot of
There it is.
information.
Jamie's got
There it is. That's
It pops
You
up
got
when
it
you
right
share
there.
it too,
That's
man. I
what-
got little cool
Yep,
things that
and
pop
we've got
up
a
when
lot
you
of
hit the share
information on
button.
there also about coronaviruses. We have a whole resource center
I got
just for
little Mac from Mike
coronaviruses.
Tyson's. I got little Mac from Mike Tyson's punch out.
There you go.
Post, start, copy link, and share to
Yeah,
group.
right post. Yeah, share
so
right post.
For
Then
the
it goes on
average
the wall.
person
Okay,
that
post.
is sitting around
There you go, you shared this
reading
post.
these articles that say
Watch what
don't
pops up on the
worry,
screen, man.
or reading these
Nick
these
Fix says
articles
share.
that say
Look at that little Mac, man.
humanity.
Champion.
What,
Oh, Mac,
what, what,
I want
what
to
could these
I
people
want to
do?
get like a
what,
cool little
what could they
thing
do
for,
and what do
like,
they do
my,
if they get
sharing
infected?
food.
Yeah, you
Well,
should
first
make
of
us
all,
like whatchamacallit.
Yeah,
neither of those
like a little
kind of
badge or
articles are
something.
perfect. We
Yeah,
have
like a
to
little
make sure
badge or
that we
something.
get that message out to people that it's there.
You get a
We
badge
just-
the more you come to my stream and
part of it
interact.
is
You'll
it's
get
so hard
a
to-
number
you
one
hear
fan
from
or some
people
shit like
as well
that.
as experts what's
I'm
gonna happen
shy.
or
Can I just get that
You know,
without doing all that?
And let me
No.
just give you an example.
Well, really,
Because
bro,
I've
to
heard
help
a
me
lot
out the
about
most
it's gonna
is
go
if you
away.
come to my stream and
The
actually just leave it
the
open for 3
coronavirus
minutes,
was
it counts as a
season.
big
Okay, when
fucking
it
view
warms
for
up,
me.
it goes.
Rather than just clicking on it for like a couple
the
of
other
seconds and shit.
coronaviruses that we have,
you
that
stay
we
in
had
there for
to
3
worry about
minutes,
was
it counts.
SARS, which appeared in 2003.
That's like a
Really?
bigger incentive.
And
Yeah.
when that came out of China in February 2003, it took us a little while to
I'm going the
figure out
long way around
that these
here.
people really
They got
aren't that
diffuser.
infectious until day 5 or 6 of their illness, and then they really crash and burn. And
They're
you
like
die.
laying in corners and like
But what we did
being
was
sweaty
basically,
and that's
side of the
knowing
road.
that, identify
Yeah,
these
they are.
cases and their contacts quickly. And so if they had symptoms, brought them in, put them in these isolation rooms so they wouldn't infect anybody
Take care of
else.
them.
And it took until June to bring that under control. That had nothing to do with the seasons. MERS, which is another coronavirus that's in the Middle East, Arabian Peninsula, the natural of that is camels. In China, by the way, SARS, it was palm sickles, and a type of
Damn it, man. I got marked by
that
Jaeger.
that we got out of
Fuck,
markets.
Spartan. They know they're right here. They're right here to
the
the
Arabian
west side of the
Peninsula, we're
store.
not going to euthanize
They don't know I'm here,
1.7
though.
camels, to try to get them MERS. And there, it's 110 degrees out, and this virus is transmitted fine, thank you. I mean, it goes from animals to people, it goes into hospitals.
Add a claymore to
There's
that
no
back door to
evidence
the
it's
right,
seasonal
so-
there.
So that's a good myth to expose right away.
Yeah.
This is not something that's going to cure it.
If it
Aw, man,
does,
shoot
it won't
to
be
the wood.
because
Fuck.
there's a model for it.
What will it be?
I'm
Because
trying to
how does
sneak up on 'em.
how
I
does
look the
something
other
like
direction.
SARS
Damn it.
run through a population and then stop being around anymore?
Well, it wouldn't have, but had we had good public health, had we had
Come on with the echo, boy.
the same kind of transmission we're seeing with this coronavirus, where you're infectious before you ever get sick, where
Oh, yeah.
you're highly infectious. Remember with SARS, now you didn't really get infectious till you're in 6 day of illness, and you knew that you were in trouble. and then you could isolate you. And we didn't understand that at first, and we virus transmitted. So that's why SARS stopped. MERS stops because we don't get rid of the camels, so it keeps hitting humans day after day. But then when they go to the hospital, we no longer allow those individuals to transmit to others in the hospital because we do what we call good infection control. As soon as they get there, they're in special rooms with special masks and all this kind of thing. And so in that regard, these coronaviruses can be stopped. This one's not. As I said at the top of the program, this is like trying to stop the wind. Influenza transmission, you never hear anybody saying in a bad seasonal flu year, you know, we're going to stop this one.
It's one dude, he's pinned himself in the room.
It's just breathing. That's all it is.
So what's best case scenario?
No.
Well, I think as I laid out to you before, you know, this could be 10 times worse than a really bad seasonal flu year. And I'll grant you it will hit, you know, primarily the older population and those with underlying health problems. As I mentioned also, you know, we have a lot of people who have other risk factors. Obesity, high blood pressure is another risk factor where you can have a really bad outcome.
Oh my God!
And so we don't quite know what's going to be. I think, you know, we've been right on the mark predicting where it's going to be.
I can't afford to lose this game.
I think from here on out, I can tell you it's going to stay around for months. It's not going to go away tomorrow. We got to stop thinking about, if we just get through tomorrow, that's it. So if we're going to go to school, not go into public,
we're almost done with the first glass.
How long are we prepared to do that? What are we going to do?
We have to ask ourselves now.
I think the big thing is that eventually enough people get infected where it'll be like putting reactors in the rods, you know, rods in the reactor.
Who's got the bombs?
Unreal.
Just playing.
But
how so?
Because if two of the three of us in this room were immune,
get in now. Those that are watching, man, you know, thanks for coming. Make sure you hit that like, share, and follow button. Don't forget to come back on April 10th for your chance to get a
that's what's going to happen.
Copy of the Final Fantasy VII Remake for the PS4 right here with your boy on RIDDLEN.
Slow down and stop transmission that way.
You might get some T-shirts too, man, with my logo on it.
Is it safe to say that
don't be a little dick little homie unless you're a little dick little homie?
Something like the Spanish flu or something
which is fine.
Really ruthlessly deadly.
When you join this thing, it says welcome to the
stream. That's where I think we have to be really careful.
I took it off because I took that part off because the little Mac thing wouldn't pop up anymore for some reason. I gotta make the lettering smaller.
And it's mostly older or younger people. Okay, that's
maybe a Cabby running somewhere.
With this one, in China, we're seeing
upstairs.
between 2 and 3.
Cabby just ran like.
And some say, well, that's way too high. It's not going to be that high. It's going to be lower. But again, and they say that because we.
I don't even know how to get upstairs, bro.
Okay.
Garage.
But on the other hand, we have a lot of additional people in countries like
they're upstairs and they're in the room above garage.
For having bad outcomes in China. And so Spanish flu, the one you mentioned, 1918, that was about a 3 to 3.2% case fatality rate. Now, did preferentially impact 25-year-olds. They were the hardest hit group.
I have the diffuser.
Well, you know, it has to do with your immune response again. We thought that what happened is when this virus got into you, it created what we call a cytokine storm, which is an antibody response in your body that's out of control.
Upstairs
and it basically you destroy yourself. And it sets this thing up to trigger it off.
So the healthier people had the more adverse
shit! Has had a real challenge.
I knew it.
Women. Pregnant women have a very unique issue. One is, of course, they have some constriction of their lungs just by the very physical mass. But also their immune system is really at a heightened state at that point. There's a part of that immune system that woman says, this is not all me, get rid of this. It's like a rejection of a graft. And the other part saying, this is the most precious cargo I'll ever carry. I got to make sure I don't lose
got his ass, boy.
And when that virus got in between those two,
got 1% health.
Again, that same kind of cytokine storm. Now, the thing that concerns us about this, what we saw in 1918, I mentioned just 3+%. This one could be as high as 2%. So it's somewhere between a really bad flu year, 0.1%.
Nice.
And it could be as high.
There's a camera right
here,
there on that wall.
Getting closer to 1918-like. And that's the numbers I just gave you a few minutes ago from
There's a guy right.
He's laying down. Jump in on Sparrow and just blast him. He's laying. Oh, too late now. He's just laying down.
Oh shit! Cabby got me. Cabby's about to get me.
What can someone do to shore up their immune system?
Fucking trap.
Well, a couple things. First of all, just being as healthy as you can.
Bitch.
You know, wait. You know, I'm
getting
up there right now where it becomes more of a challenge to stay in good shape. You know, the more you can do that, something you know all about, is keeping in shape is really important.
He's to the right through that window. There you go. There's another window in there to the right.
Blood pressure, don't miss them. Take those drugs because they're really important, even though they may not appear simple. You know, you don't have any symptoms.
Gotta find him. He's gonna hunker down, bro. He's hunkering. He's
And
hunkering.
then I think just
just leave it right there. I'll stay on it.
Oh, he's outside.
About get you prepared for this.
Come on, one red goes, man. We need you.
What the fuck is this guy
Is there
doing?
anything else someone could do, like maybe IV vitamin drips or anything that's going to really boost your system?
No, you know, when you look at all the things that might
I want to know how
be
the
there,
fuck you
and
just
I'm
go
happy and
outside.
willing to accept any and all that might help, but we
He's
don't
worried
really
about the
have
C4.
any data that those substantially impact on your immune system to make it that much better.
Is that the case? Because
these are the ones I love the best when they do
no,
all
actually,
this fancy
stuff.
stuff.
It has been studied. It's been studied. I mean, a good example is, you know, and I was one of those people that thought, boy, this is a great thing, probiotics. You know, things. Turns out that we've studied this with regards to antibiotic resistance. It doesn't help with that, etc. And it turns out that the probiotic users.
No, I know, but he's gonna be right here to his right.
In terms of recovery from antibiotics.
No, when the issue of if you're going to kind of compete out the bad bugs, so by getting the good, healthy gut flora, the bugs there, you would actually reduce the chance of picking up a bad bug. And it turned out there was no difference. The people.
But how would they do a study like that? The only way I think they would do a study like that accurately is infect someone that is the same person. Have the same person with no probiotics.
Yep.
And then have them with probiotics.
Well, and the studies that have been done are very close to that. But what they did is they used two different groups of people. This people used probiotics. This group did not.
Right.
And then they looked at all their illnesses. And they got stool samples and everybody. And they got samples.
About it too much.
I don't have the numbers in front of me. They're pretty sizable. Because I was
only level 81.
I mean, I was taking some myself. Yeah. So I mean, I think though, but I think the key message here is that you know. We're going to get through this, but right now we do have some real challenges.
14 years old with a
can't
mouse
tell
and
people
keypad.
it's all safe.
Well, he doesn't
Unreal.
Every time I hear people say the risk is low right now,
he's got the
it
rest of
reminds
these.
me of what
Bet,
would
I'm ready
happen
to go.
if there was this huge low pressure system,
Unreal.
you know, 5 days
Playing
off
different.
the coast at the Gulf, and there was 90-degree water between that system and the beach, and there was no wind shears in the northern hemisphere that's likely going to knock it off. But we tell the people standing on the beach that day we have low risk of anything. Well, we know 5 days from now it's coming.
Right.
And so what we need to do is help this American population, or the world for that matter, understand we're going to be in some hurt for the next few months, and we have got to get better prepared. How are we going to work? Where are we going to work? We can't stop working. We need help.
Okay, let's not get back into this talk again.
A bunch of
Boy, here we go. What if I could, huh?
Get sleep.
Fucking talk again.
You say so.
I'm out of scrub.
You whipped around. I almost.
Drink a lot of water.
There you go.
Yeah, there it goes. There
Hey.
goes Mr. Master Key.
Yep,
Yeah, he's gonna go plug it in now.
You nailed.
So in that sense, the sauna will help you a little bit because it does.
What relaxes you?
Relaxes you. It also.
He's gonna go plug his mouth and key in. Block him from the party.
Now, if you're in Minnesota, we'd say there's a 2-part requirement of that. You got to go from the sauna to the ice water, back to the sauna. You got to do both.
Yeah, people love that, right?
We do it all the time.
Well, the
Just be on his
Russians
own. He just
invented
do
that.
Stephen Turner has now fallen and became a little dick, little homie.
Yeah, does that? Have you ever done that?
I have. My son has and daughter have a beautiful lake.
We all
actually
have
They got
shown
a
that.
sauna, like literally.
I did follow.
I'm trying to tell you.
And there's a spring right there. So in the wintertime, the lake actually
If
stays
this
open.
shit blows
So
up, if
we
this
go
shit
right
blows
from
up
the
within the
sauna
next year and a half,
right to
I'll
the
fly
water.
all y'all out
Oh
here.
wow! Even when it's frozen.
Oh yeah, it's because it's not frozen
I make
right there.
enough
where the
money,
spring
man. I
is,
promise
so you literally
Because,
can
bro,
go right into
think
it.
about it.
So,
I'm already
and
at
then you
almost
run right back into
550
the
followers
hot tub.
right now.
That's when you
Once
sleep
I get
well.
to
When you've done a
1,000,
couple of
it's
those
gonna get
rounds, you
easier
sleep
from
really
there.
well.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Well, it can get
Bob's
big. It
freaking
can
out.
be. If it gets
Yeah,
big,
I
bro,
love the sauna, but
look,
I haven't had any
regardless,
opportunity
we're gonna
to
go
jump
down
in
there
the
and
lake
hang out
right
with you guys.
afterwards.
That's
Okay,
regardless.
No, but
we'll
what
have
I'm
to-
saying
no,
is
just not anyway.
regardless,
You gotta have an ice
even
covered.
with that,
Yeah.
saying
Then
I'll
you
take care
really
of the
got.
people
Then
that
you
took
got.
care of me.
That's the real
Yeah,
fun.
Yeah.
sure.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? We'll go
what
to
else
we'll
can
go to a
people
Bucks
do
game, man.
in
You know what I'm
terms
saying, man?
of all this
Watch
hand
Tom Brady ball out.
sanitizer jazz and
We'll go drink some,
masks? Is that all?
Yeah. The hand sanitizers actually
Just like
are
I know you like to
really
get
great
wet,
for
though.
stopping a lot of infectious diseases.
Johnny Walker
They
Black,
actually
man.
are really
Johnny
I don't
Walker
drink-
Black
I
will
don't-
go to the
your
bar and
hands,
go drink
you
it
know, in
clean,
terms
and
of the skin.
you know what I'm saying?
Kill
It'll be all
bad
good, bro.
bugs.
I don't
But
order. Johnny
the whole
Walker Black
issue
at
of
a
using
bar
your
is
hands
out- is
touching the place that
overpriced.
people
It's way
concentrate on.
overpriced.
Yes.
The data is actually very
I only
weak
drink
that
Johnny
this
Walker
kind of
Black at
virus
my
is going to
house.
be
It's
transmitted
kinda like
that
one
way.
of my
So I wouldn't tell you
regardless,
to
I'm
stop
gonna
using
drink
hand sanitizers, but don't think it's going to have a big impact.
Well, you
on
guys
this.
can. I'm drinking it on
Did
the
you see that
rocks.
viral video that's going around of that woman who was giving the
Motherfucker.
address press.
You don't tell me how to drink my shit.
Now
we get some now if I ball,
tells people
if I get now if I
not
ball
to
out,
touch their face, and then
enough
immediately
game, we
licks
get
her
some
finger
Johnny
and
Walker
hits
Blue,
the
and then I'll fucking we'll drink it cool.
Well, why is she telling people not to touch their faces?
Because the thought is that there are receptors.
I got a guy right here in my pink
that actually for this virus could get in and then get into your body.
Mm-hmm.
And the data we have on this is so sparse to say that that's the case. I think the primary thing about hand washing is legitimate, but one of the things people want to do something. They want to be able to feel like they're doing something, and so we tell them, wash your hands often and to prevent this disease. And I feel like we're not being really honest with the people. The data, and we've looked at this very carefully, really is about just breathing air, and that's a hard thing to stop. So keep doing the hand washing. I don't think that that's going to stop this disease. But you asked about the mask.
It's going to stop other stuff. Yes.
Yeah. Well, there's two kinds.
Right.
Basically, the surgical mask, which just fits over. And the reason it's called surgical mask is because it's loose fitting. It kind of ties behind you. It's worn by surgeons. So that you don't cough.
I was debating
doing things now.
And it was never made to protect you from bugs coming in.
I didn't die,
little spaces on the sides, that's not a problem if I'm breathing into the cloth.
I put some suppressive fire on his ass,
But in terms of the
You brought out the bait.
Side,
you baited him.
they're not effective.
I was kind of thinking he was over there.
Kind of like I bait you on that.
We saw you bait
Now,
him.
if you are sick,
they
may help a little bit from you transmitting because if you
doing
cough,
things,
then
bro.
you cough right into
We about to play some
cloth
Madden
and
here
someone
shortly,
will
boy.
embed in there
We
and
are,
get it
bro.
around.
Goddamn right we are.
The other one though is called an N95.
Can't wait.
Stepped up my
For all
game
intents
again,
and purposes,
bro.
like a mask.
I ain't know you
It's
like to
tight
get wet,
face
though.
fitting. It has a
I
seal.
do love to get
you know,
wet,
the
man. Only
nose,
what you do,
etc.
That's
man.
an apocalypse mask.
It could be. I don't know what those are, but that could be.
I got cases on all you
That's how I look at it.
motherfuckers, man.
Okay. Well, they're actually we use them all the time in healthcare all the time, and
I'm
they
saying?
use
You
them
ain't
actually
got
about
shit on
90%
me,
of them
dog.
are
When
using
I'm
In
industry.
those pockets,
So when
in
they're
those pockets,
grinding
with my
things
day.
or
Pay the bill.
asbestos, etc., they don't breathe in all these parts.
So if we have one of those, that'll do something.
They're
I
very
just told him
effective.
though, man. I
They're
said
very
that my
effective. The problem is we
stream,
have
if
a
my
big shortage.
stream fucking blows
You know,
up
right now we have hospitals
within like the
are
next
down
year and a
to just
half,
couple
I
days
said I'd
worth
fly
of
everybody out,
these
man. We'll all
masks.
go and hang out. Even though they're gonna come anyways, but I'll
respirators.
take care of the
And it's
people.
because we don't stockpile anything.
People keep trying to tell
they
me that
got
my
kids
shit's
don't
not.
have, hospitals don't
They
have the money
keep, they
to do
keep
that.
telling
Those
me, man, I don't
preppers
have
right
enough
now are
good
so
continent,
excited.
man. You know what I'm
All the
saying?
preppers across
I
the
just
country.
haven't found a
I knew
game
the
where
day
I'm
would
a
come.
fucking.
Yeah,
a
well, they
god
are.
at.
They
I mean,
are.
I do
And
well on
peaches and-
PUBG.
Well, and this is really important because
Bro,
how
honestly,
healthcare workers
if you're
go
gonna be a
is how the
streamer,
country, I think, will see.
You're gonna have to be good at
There have been over
whatever the
4,000
new fucking
healthcare
popular
workers in
game
China
is.
who
Like,
were infected.
if you want to make
Many
real
of them on
money,
their
then
job.
you need to be playing Fortnite.
And a number of them
Nah,
died.
nah, not playing that
And
shit.
if
Nah,
in
I
this
think Final
country,
Fantasy 7 I'll do
we
well
have
at.
a real
I'll do
challenge
well at Final
delivering
Fantasy 7
healthcare
on the day.
because we're overwhelmed. And then we have
Yeah,
healthcare
but that'll be a
workers
fad.
picking
That'll
up
be
the
in and
infection,
out.
like we talked about the group.
Yeah,
in
but I
Milan.
can play it multiple times. Like I have
and
such a
we
big
don't
Final
have
Fantasy 7
protection
following
for them.
right now for the
I really
original
believe
one.
that's when all
That
the
so many
people
people are gonna come and watch me on the whole thing.
and,
Plus the
and
giveaway,
that's
I
why I
hope
think the
people show
challenge.
up
So
for
we
that
really have to
shit.
protect our
Otherwise,
healthcare
no one's
workers.
getting
They are
shit
the
from
front
me.
line people.
They just
the
run
big
around
problem we have is
downstairs.
A lot of these cases,
I got a message from my apartment complex, and nothing that they said in that message was about any sort of
So when one of those people get infected, the doctor
handout
working
or
in
any
intensive
sort
care,
of
it's not like you just took out another soldier. You took
just
out a
anything
special
to do
forces
with
person. You just can't bring someone in from family practice or
payment
whatever and put them in there.
options, nothing.
And so
Just
we've
like,
got to
hey, you
protect
know,
those workers, and I'm really concerned that that's
they
going
pretty
to
much told us
done.
how to
Nobody
pay rent without
stockpiles.
going to the front
We
office.
have
Like,
no,
hey man, how
no
about
capacity to make
hold
lots
back
of
rent
all
for
of a
a month?
sudden,
What
you
the
know,
fudge?
prior to this event, the hospital purchasing agent would go online, click a button, send me 5,000 of these, and it would be there the next morning.
Has anyone contacted
So lucky
you
on that shot, too,
before this or since, in particular, and asked for your advice as to how they can better prepare? Like in
All the
terms of
time.
like the president.
Oh, the president hasn't, but I know a number of the people who are working in the
Smokes
White House.
Hey, after
upstairs.
this, hey, I'll
We're
seriously after this
Oh
game,
yeah,
man, I need a
well,
quick
you know,
smoke break. It's a cigarette break.
I've served roles in the last 5 presidential
Once I start drinking, man, the
administrations. I worked
nicotine
for 2 Republican
starts kicking
governors,
in.
2 Democratic governors, as you appreciate, 1 independent Rassler.
Man.
I worked for too when he was governor, Jesse.
See, man, that's another
And-
thing about
and-
Johnny Walker
That's
Black,
right.
man. It's
Yeah,
just like
and
sometimes I
so,
get a bottle
you know,
and that shit just goes
I've
down
never
so
had a partisan,
smooth,
you know,
man. Other
I'm
times I
just
get
a
a
private
bottle,
and
man,
public
that
health
shit
authority.
just
And so I
fucking
actually served as a
annihilates me.
science
This one's going
envoy for
down
this
real fucking quick.
administration in the State Department last year, you know,
Like I just got a
in my
taste
full-time job
off
at
my
the
first one, which
university.
means
And
I
so
might be
I've
killing
never been, I mean,
50%
I'm
of
there
this
to give
bottle
the best
tonight.
advice I can. And so I've talked to a lot of these people there at the CDC, at Health and Human Services, etc. Yeah, we've given a lot of advice.
Oh, no,
bro, you got grenades, Brody.
Do you think there's anything that you could do now that could help them make sure that we don't have these shortages of masks and shortages of medicine and IV bags and something that could be done to? I mean,
watch that left
obviously
window,
you've laid out all these problems, and you laid it out in your book here that people can buy right now. Go pick it up on Amazon, right? Is there an audio version of it as well?
There is.
All right. Do you read it?
The book?
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, you know, I have. I don't know. I don't read it myself. No, there's actually a really good voice. It's not mine.
Well, it should be you, man. That drives me crazy. Someone else does it.
Yeah. No, you know, this is the challenge we have is today in this environment.
You fucking serious,
delivery.
dude.
I mean, look at you go online and you whatever place you're ordering from, Amazon, wherever, you expect it there the next day.
Yeah.
People forget that we don't have that capacity today to suddenly make lots of things. So right now, all the mass manufacturers in North America are working 110% time. But if they were trying to fill all the orders they've gotten just in the last few weeks, it would take them years and years with the capacity they have. And you can't go build these new machines to make masks.
What?
So this is something that should be set in advance of anything like this, any pandemic happening, like long in advance. We should be prepared.
You know,
I don't really have
think
time to
about
mess with this
the
guy.
issue of defense. You know, we prepare all the time well in advance. We don't build an aircraft carrier at the moment we think we're going to go to the battle. We look at what all do we need. We don't do that in public health. We've tried. And so, you know what? Stockpiling 500 million of these in 95s would have been the difference between night and day. And when you look at the price of one of those versus one airplane,
damn it, bro. I gotta fucking
if you look
piss,
at things
man.
like that, it's like these medications I talk. Think about our own defense.
There's too much shit going on, bro. I can't stream and have to pee all the time, man. I'm gonna have to get some Depends.
No,
so what we need to do is take a step back after we can start now, but we're not going to fix it now.
And then I got this Johnny Walker
Watch your liver, dude.
Goes through me like water, man.
Vaccines.
It's already starting to taste like fucking water anyways now, man. One glass, I'm finished.
That's because all that fucking ice you got in there full.
I only put like 3 cubes in, dog. Don't tell me I have to live my life again,
right after SARS happened in 2000,
I swear to God.
everybody was hot on the vaccine.
I'm tired of this shit, man.
Like your whiskey.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Let me
He
tell you
wakes up
something.
every day. You tell me how to live his life.
You know, sometimes when they come up with a flu vaccine, it doesn't necessarily address the current strain.
And the Buccaneers are going to be like ranked like overall 98. This dude's going to start playing with them. And then he's going to tell me, you're playing with the best team in the game.
And the flu one,
you're playing with the best team in the game, nigga.
I'm
a low stand
up. We do have an imperfect vaccine, but it still does a lot of good. You know, 50% of the people are protected. That's a lot better than zero. If we had a vaccine right now that 50%
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
Against this virus. So the bottom line message is we can't wait for the crisis to fix these things. You know what? We spend about 0.0001% of public health compared to our Defense Department, and yet look how vulnerable the bugs are. It's not a war. It's not a missile. It's bringing down the economy right now. It's a darn virus. And so this is where I think, and that's what I tried to say in my book, was all about that. I went into what we needed to do. In fact, I hate it when people come up and say,
put this here anyways.
You know, my whole bottom line is, what are we going to do about it then? And that's what I laid out a whole plan in here, like these vaccines, like the stockpiles of masks. You know, we should have a plan in place already. What are we going to do with our schools? Are we going to really close schools? Let's not try to make this on the fly. And I just mentioned, if we close schools,
yo, it's not letting me turn off the fucking phone. I'm holding down.
And
nothing's
people
happening.
may die in healthcare facilities.
Upstairs.
We don't have enough nurses or healthcare workers. Why have to make that decision all of a sudden? We could have planned for that a long time ago. And so I think this is a wake-up call because, you know, nobody, I think, really believed this. I got to tell you, you know, the market today, as you know, on this particular day,
we got them out front. We got them out front.
And, you know, I think that up till 10 days ago, the market didn't even think this was a
problem. Oh, yeah, on my ping.
They just, if you look at it, it was flying high.
Right, here's live
on Friday, I did a briefing for over 400 major financial investors around the world. And, you know,
there's 2 of them where that red thing is. 3 of them where that red thing is
I'm just trying to tell the facts and make sure people understand it. The questions I got from these people,
oh my God,
almost remind me of a 6-year-old who was afraid to have to go through down a dark hallway. You know, and I thought, I actually said to friends and colleagues Friday night, I said, you know what, Monday's market's not going to look good. because I could hear the fear in these
Sparta.
people. Okay, well, we shouldn't be there. We should be. What are we going to do? We have a problem. You know, it's like a forest fire. Whatever. We got a problem. What are we going to do about it? Financially, how are we going to get through this? You know, where are we going to go with it? No plans again. It's caught everybody by surprise.
It's on the steps, bro.
I mean, you were one of the few people that wanted to deal with this issue. You know, we set this up several weeks ago. You guys saw it coming. You know, and I think that's where the country hasn't seen it. Now they're getting it.
Well, I'm paranoid. Well, I seek the advice of experts whenever possible. And what I was seeing was that there was a lot of weird misinformation and conflicting information. A lot of people saying, don't worry, and a lot of people that were terrified. I'm like, okay, I got to talk to an expert. And luckily, you were willing to sit down with us and help us out.
Well, you know, and the other thing I think that, you know, maybe it's a function of age, but, you know, straight talk is so important today.
Yes.
You know, I'm so tired of having people say to me, oh, if you tell them this stuff, they're going to panic. And I say, well, what's panic? Have you seen anybody riding in the streets yet? Have you seen cars turned over, smashed? Have you seen people hurting themselves over this issue? They're concerned. But they want legitimate information. And so what you need to do is
upstairs,
tell them the truth. And we have many experiences like that. A few years ago, when I was at the State Health Department in Minnesota, we had a big outbreak of meningitis.
What?
Type of brain infection, bacterial brain infection.
Come on, man.
A number of high school students were very sick. All of a sudden, one day, they were in a hospital. And this community of 20-some thousand people were on edge. And so we had a big meeting with several thousand people. And I addressed them and gave them everything I knew about meningitis, what we're going to do about it, etc. And then, towards the end of the talk, I said, and I just need to let you know, about 1 out of every 7 cases of this dies. And people looked at me and said, why did you tell them that?
Who took cap cans?
Because they needed to know it.
I'm about to get silly with cap can.
Oh,
and
bro,
you know what?
man,
everybody in
thinks
town
the characters
was
I'm good
terribly
with,
sad,
man.
very emotional. We knew it. We knew it. You told us.
I get more kills with cap can than I get with anybody else.
Got on with dealing with
used to play Castle.
We vaccinated the whole town.
I'm playing him now.
Vaccinated one weekend.
Actually, he's not going to be too bad
but
for
it was
this
because they had faith in us. We told them the truth.
Yeah,
and
bro.
we said what we know.
I'm just gonna kill you.
Just have straight talk. Don't tell them it's
low
risk. That's like the hurricane, okay? You know, I would be really mad at you if I thought you were a hurricane forecaster and you knew this was coming.
Smart to
telling me, oh, it's low risk. Don't worry.
Smart this shit, bro.
Yeah, once it hit.
Yeah, so that's what we need to do today. Is just say this is going to be challenging. And we're going to get through it, though. We are going to get through it.
I hope this wakes people
Castle
up
what?
about vaccines too. There's so many wackos out there that think that vaccines are, you know, a scam or they're dangerous or there's so many people out there that won't vaccinate their children.
I know, and that's one. You know, one of your best shows ever was Peter Hotel.
Yeah,
he's a dear friend of mine. I do too. He's a dear friend of mine.
David,
and you know, he is one of the champions out there on this very issue. I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's really an important point. That you know, we got to get this idea. These vaccines can be life-saving. If we had one right now, think how different this situation would be in the world right now.
It would be radically different. But then you see the measles making a comeback, directly attributed to a lack of vaccines.
You know what? And it's not only the vaccines themselves, but it's the prioritization of vaccines.
Gosh.
I mean, you know, one of the real tragic stories right now in Africa is we are just finally bringing to a close this outbreak of Ebola in the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Right here on my ping.
Congo. You know, 20-some thousand, 2,800 people have died from this. Okay, it's been going on for almost 2 years, and everybody talks about that, and I understand why. Ebola is a challenge, but you know that during that same time period, over 7,000 kids in that same time died from measles, because everybody was preoccupied trying to deal with Ebola. And that
definitely went out there, bro.
Totally preventable. Totally preventable. So I mean, I think that's you know, I have to say, and, you know, I'm already on this show, so I'm not trying to. Thank you for what you do say about vaccines, because people listen to you, and we need every positive voice, because we have so many crazy voices out there right now that are so
paranoid and delusional, and they want it all to be a conspiracy. There's been an amazing medical innovation in human culture, and that's vaccines. It's amazing what it's done. And have there been adverse effects on people? Of course, everything that people do. There's some people that are going to react in a bad way.
Oh,
it doesn't mean it's not a positive thing. And there's a reason why the cases of polio are so tiny. There's a reason why smallpox went away. It's because of vaccines.
Absolutely. And you know, that's one of the challenges.
Oh, that MNK clutch.
You can hook a mod
the
controller
anti-science misinformation that's out there, but then when they don't see it, and the reason they don't see it is because we did vaccinate until we get enough people not vaccinated, and then look what happens.
There's a famous photo of two twins
crazy.
from the early 20th century.
Y'all want to plant, man?
One of them
y'all want to try to plant
smallpox, and one of them was vaccinated.
We can try.
Have you seen that photo?
I have.
It's
a very Kelly.
Jamie, find it because it's people
just
need
for
to see
the
it.
Well,
Just
then we all gotta hold
that is
up
the
and-
difference.
There it is. Yep. There it is. Right there. That's it. Right there. That's the one.
One kid whose body is just devastated by what looks like he's like pebbles glued to his skin all over his body. His face, and then his brother right next to him with nothing.
And you know what's really important to note here is that in that
thermite's done it.
all those things are very painful.
But
once they're inside the body,
hopefully the bomb's right here.
And so you're exactly right. I couldn't agree with you more.
So they're downstairs.
You know, this is
all right.
this
So we
is
got
really
thermite.
an important point.
We're good.
So we're good.
Oh, we're good.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
We just gotta watch the hop outs though.
The reason why people don't do it is because they're paranoid of vaccines and they get that information from some wacko website.
And they're gonna have the doors muted, but I'm gonna shoot an ash charge in there.
Whether it's the people out there that think it causes
Or
diseases or that it's a government plot,
Lakeside,
or it's a medical scam, is just trying to raise money. It's just all of it's very, very disturbing. But it's a part of people. You know, the human beings, for whatever reason, there's a percentage of us that lean towards conspiratorial thinking.
What am I thermiting?
They lean towards thinking that there's some sort of
see them
plot against
upstairs,
them,
right?
or the government's against them, and it's just... You got to listen to the medical experts.
You know what? And I
put some
hope
suppressive
that
fire
if there's any good to come out of this terrible coronavirus situation, that there's a wake-up call.
I got that dogs. We Gucci.
My bad.
Or one that even worked
this way. My bad.
Yeah.
Think how different we'd be. And you know what? We got other ones coming like this. We have to use our creative imagination.
Well,
you know, as I said in the book, the chapter on coronavirus, the title is SARS and MERS, a harbinger of things to come.
Pop it, pop it, pop it.
We can use our creative imagination.
Look, I'm gonna try to.
We should be funding these things.
I'm gonna try to go do some
almost
work.
We're in.
Imagine if we had to go out and buy a fire.
I'm dropping the planter or the bomb.
Yes.
We need to do it now.
No longer. Go ahead.
It's kind of disturbing that it's chapter 13 though.
I know it was.
Pick it up.
Well, actually, would you do me a favor? You're going to really do it like this.
Let's go.
Open up
chapter
13. Okay. And when you look at it's towards the end there. When you read the quote that goes with it.
Back out.
Okay. So every chapter started not with just a title, but a quote.
I'm smoking.
And I think you'll find this one quite interesting.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, how do you kill me?
Bioterror opening Pandora's
kill me,
box.
bro? I was standing behind you.
That's not it?
Yeah, it's chapter 13. You're close.
There it is.
Okay, read
SARS and MERS, a harbinger of things to come.
Well, look at the quote underneath it.
I think they're about to.
These make me look smarter.
They're good. They don't got time to stay alive.
There it is. Let's go.
Right.
Let him kill me.
Let's go.
Let's
This guy,
China.
this guy an achievement for godlike.
Let's plant the plant,
the
boys.
bay.
Let's plant the plant.
China.
We said,
Did you put that in there
that
because
like,
you really
share,
thought that a
follow
lot of this
button.
stuff was going to come out of China?
I
Or
need
was
that
that
like,
because it's a
like,
great
share it, that
No,
follow button.
this
I need
is
some stars
exactly what we're
sent to me,
talking
otherwise
about.
I'm not
Why
drinking
do
any
you
more
watch
Johnny
it?
Walker Black tonight.
because they have this
Wanna see me get
incredibly
fucked up?
large population. 2 billion.
do whatever the fuck
They've
I
got
say in this
this
fucking
food
thing.
supply that is largely wildlife that
I'm
comes
trying to get me
into
some
these
stinky
markets
pinky,
where
man.
there's
From
incredible
Dope Man.
contact between people.
They're on vacation right now. Okay, no more school.
And the crowded nature of that society. I mean,
Yeah, you just fucking.
I think
you just,
one of the things that's
dude, you just
surprising
ruined
when
their
you go to
first
China,
school breakfast.
15
dude.
million population cities are common over there. I mean, we
Literally.
think of the United States, we think of
Tomorrow
Hey, I
morning
need a
they're
smoke
going,
break. I need a smoke break really quick.
I mean,
Don't start
That's
in the
fine.
back. Let me go smoke.
a city of 15
I need to
million,
refill
the
my
entire
cup, too.
metropolitan
I gotta
area
get
is
some
60
ice.
million.
I'm out of here anyway.
And
man.
so,
I'm out of here.
you have
Oh my
people
god, bro.
that
You know what I'm
are
saying, man? This is why I can't play with this
that
dude,
if you
bro.
add
Jokes too
in the
much.
bugs coming from these animals, and then the potential
gonna
for
start
this
up a
kind
mess,
of
Unreal.
Just
I'm
image-
out here.
just
I'm leaving.
image her,
I'm turning
bro.
the mic off.
China's been a
Exactly.
Mike's going off.
viral
I love how
source
y'all.
for
I
a long
love
time.
how y'all hate when I do that
That's
shit.
again
but
why
you
we
love
have to
to use it
protect
against me
ourselves
later
here,
on.
because a bug anywhere in the world today can be a bug everywhere tomorrow. Everywhere.
Right. And particularly with a massive number.
That's why I told
of
Otto the other night. I
these
said
kind of
Mike's going
cities.
off.
Yeah.
So these wet, they call them wet markets?
Yep,
Is that what they
wet
call them?
markets. Yep.
So that's
Damn
what it is. A
Bowser,
lot of
don't
it is
fucking lay
wildlife.
down in the middle of the
Oh,
fucking
it's
floor in the
incredible. You know,
dark.
You know, I've hunted my life. You know, I love to fly.
Dogs be just doing anything.
I could never have imagined the animals. You know, I've spent time in these markets. I remember one day spending a day in the Bangkok, Thailand market, and it was about a mile by a mile and a half wild in these tight aisles.
They need to come out with more 5-player games, man. For multiplayer, like 5-player team games instead of just being 4 and 3.
And they're all just right on top of
5 makes it more legit.
And I actually have a picture.
I think PUBG should be 5-man squads.
There was a situation where there was all these chickens in a cage.
So the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
A big wire cage. And it sat on top of a wire cage.
No, it's not. It's only 3 right now.
Ferrets are actually an animal model.
It's only 3.
From a flu standpoint.
Oh, is it?
They do really well in getting
yeah, it's only 3, but they are coming out with 4 to 5. They have a solo one too. I haven't played it yet. I only did the training mission the other day.
Supposedly there's some free
Battle
Royale Call of Duty out right now.
And that's just common. That's
like
just common.
That's what we're talking about.
And so
that's what we're talking
birds
about.
And ferrets together.
Pay attention.
It's something that's infected. Birds could jump to the ferrets or vice versa.
Ferrets could breathe it out.
Man, stop taking off your helmet, bro.
And so these markets, I don't know what's going to happen here, but for the first time, we really saw the Chinese.
No, but it's only 3-man
squads.
squads.
In Wuhan,
that doesn't
really
make any
sense.
Why would we downplay something that we all can't play
together? It's free.
Supervise these markets.
But we all can't play together.
But I think this is a dangerous practice. Look at Africa with
just get that.
You know, bushmeat.
Yo, man, just get ready to get an ice pack on that ass when I smack you mad tonight.
Hey, no, for
when they say
free, you already
bushmeat,
paid for the
it's
game.
basically everything.
Everything from bats.
Already with the game.
Yeah, but I ain't bought the game.
Primary source of this outbreak in West Africa.
The single player on that, hey, that single player story down Call of Duty, you'll like that shit, dope, because the storyline is fucking awesome.
Pretty big bats, you know.
That shit's graphic as fuck, bro. That shit is graphic as hell, bro. Probably one of the best story Call of Duties I've ever played in a long time.
We know that this is going to happen.
Good as number 1.
We think
one was amazing.
The same way.
1 and 2.
That's why we need
nah, Modern Warfare.
This could just as easily be a flu pandemic, the same thing. Okay.
I think
so. These wet markets, they just have all these animals hanging out.
The one before Modern Warfare, I think the opening scene, you're on a fucking stack and you get burnt to death.
And then they'll actually.
Dude, that moment when you're playing Black Ops 1.
Oh, and you're
rolling through the jungle
and so forth. You got some pictures
like
bizarre Wuhan West.
There you go.
Market menu shows over 100 wild animals sold as food.
Come on, man.
Virus.
Nah, what is it? Is it Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 1 where you're in the airport?
It's pretty amazing.
Civilians.
Yeah.
Let's see some images.
It's Modern Warfare 2, right?
Oh, look at that! Look at that list.
I know.
Peacocks.
Yeah.
People are eating peacocks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Deer, crocodiles, turkey, swans. Eating swans. How dare you?
Bro,
kangaroos, squirrels, snails, foxes.
Streaming shit would have been around.
And civet cats were the cause of the SARS outbreak.
I would have been a billionaire, bro.
I've had that.
I was dropping nukes almost every other game in demolition mode, bro. I had the perfect setup.
Geese, hedgehogs.
Because I would literally tell my randoms, go and guard A. I got B by myself, and I could literally hold down B by myself, man. I would just put claymores down, resupply claymore again, hide in the back of the sniper rifle, shoot him, pull out my fucking assault
size of
rifle.
that sucker.
So I had that perk where you had 2 primary
weapons.
Salamander.
I went light.
I was snipe and fucking assault rifle, man. That scar. Put the scar with the thumper with the grenade launcher on the bottom of it.
What do you got?
Cages of turtles and cages of bunnies.
Let's see it.
Yeah. See it.
Favela, I rolled with the scar with a grenade launcher, and then my secondary was the thumper.
And these are enormous markets.
I would just get them top of the building and blow
the number of people in them is incredible.
Where
are they getting the animals from? They're getting them from the wild?
From rural areas, yeah.
And are they growing these things and farming them, or are they
Some cases both. Like a lot of the seafood today is actually in farm.
So this is really like a giant petri dish.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost
fish.
You're looking. That fish looks not that fresh.
A little snack, man.
Whoa, what's all that stuff? Rabbits. Yeah. Jesus.
But you're getting an idea.
Laying them on the ground.
If we can't stop that, we can try. Meatballs. Infectious diseases coming from those animals to us.
Look at them all wearing masks. That's hilarious.
That was, I think, with the outbreak. That might have been since.
Are those gigantic things?
I thought it was 6 a second ago.
What is that?
Are you going up like?
What are those things?
You going up every time you say that or something?
Those look like giant mollusks. Yeah, they are, right? Because look. No, because look at the ones behind. They look
I think you're right.
They look like huge muscles. Wow, look at those suckers behind.
I'm just getting ready to get deployed with the National Guard. That's all I know.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in China. They gotta eat. That's where it gets weird, right? It's like, how do you tell them that they've been doing this for who knows how long? How do you tell them to stop doing it? Or is that impossible? And is it more possible to just accelerate our vaccine program and try to preemptively create something?
He's chief. He hasn't said anything. The only thing my uncle John is the only one that said, man,
what other viruses are we concerned about?
To make sure you're ready to protect your family.
I think it's both. I think
people are going to start robbing people, bro. Someone just got killed. People just got somebody
influence.
I'm not saying
I mean,
you know, definitely gonna happen, but if National Guard goes out, then we go out too.
The last 250
nah, well, what I heard recently, man, is somebody killed somebody at a Walmart. Some dude that bought somebody bought out all the toilet paper, and then the guy went over to him. I guess fucking shot the dude because he wouldn't give him it. And at my store, they have
so these viruses pop out, and that's why we need new flu vaccines.
So when you get to the register, if you have more than that item, they're not going to sell it.
Having those
they won't sell it to you.
Prevent the big calamity.
Meaning,
let me just put it like this: things are going to happen.
If they shut down,
if
the virus gets bad, if anything gets bad enough,
and so forth,
they have to shut down.
So I think the priority vaccines we need to get are for those diseases.
Yeah, and then you're going to.
If they do that,
is the flu injection the most effective way, or is it mist as effective? Like
people
busting through the mist up the nose.
Yeah.
I don't have any
Turns
guns,
out
but I got a
that
fucking
what
Rambo
research
knife,
we
man,
have,
I'm ready to take somebody's life if they come through this fucking back door. I'll tell you that right now.
Really well
no hesitation.
Mostly.
Well, they're gonna trip over your dog first.
Yeah, they're gonna trip over my dog.
So that virus really multiplies in the nose. Remember,
if they go near my nephew, my dog Bowser is gonna fucking annihilate him. Even though they're Cocker Spaniels, man. Because I can't even go near my nephew, man. If my nephew,
that's what I got.
If you've already
I got a little Cocker Spaniel. Well, he's not a Cocker Spaniel. He's a Cavalier. He's a I don't know if you heard of Cavalier King Charles.
So it works well in kids who haven't been.
Well, I got two Cocker Spaniels. And they're both the same breed. We got them like a day apart.
I'm happy to report
the last year and a half for some reason, because they're old.
Now I can get the high dose vaccine over.
Yeah, they're good dogs.
Bowser is really attached to my nephew. So if my nephew is sleeping and my dog Bowser is next to him, if I even like go near the cage or walk by it, he fucking gets aggressive with me. It's nuts.
You had him when they were puppies?
But what we
I wasn't aware that there was.
Yeah, there's a high dose. There's a high dose. Yeah, there's a higher dose vaccine now. So
Cavalier King Charles, like their breed,
if a person's listening to this,
Spaniel breed,
any doctor's office, and they will usually say that to you if you're over.
They have separation.
I got Bowser the first night, and then we got Bowser the second night.
Run out, get a
the next day.
So now it's pretty much over. Flu season's waning. I mean, you had the guy that you should have had it a couple of months.
Yeah, Bowser got super attached to me. The problem with them, man, is they get really bad ear infections, man. I've been dealing with it for their entire life. Like, I'll get the ear infection to go away, and then it'll come back like 3 days later. I think, and it's bad because it stinks.
That's primarily
the infection, but like, there's nothing I can do, bro. Like, I keep running out of the shit. It goes away, then 3 days later it's back, and that shit's like $150 at like $80.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give them a
and you have really bad muscles. One of the things about
that doesn't. What happens is, bro, because I can't do it anymore because the ears are so bad. What you gotta do, and it's gonna suck, is you're gonna have to get like tweezers and pluck the hair that's in the middle of the earlobe, because that's what can cause. You're gonna have to pluck it out as much as you can, and that will fucking stop them from getting it a lot.
So
but once they get it, bro, because they will get it, because their ears are floppy. You need to stick with it, because if you don't stick with it, because I'm not saying I'm a bad owner, it's just hard for me to stick with it. You know what I'm saying?
You absolutely should see a doctor so you don't have.
And I feel bad because I'm just like, yo, I'm not a bad owner, and
his ears are floppy. He's got the curls on his ear.
Your lungs are starting to fill up. You know.
Yeah, they're good dogs, and you want to keep them shaved, bro. Shave them down to the lowest that you can.
They would likely give you
because that hair, bro. Oh my god, it gets all over the fucking place. No, it's not even that.
No, yeah, dude, I got it all over the coats.
Yeah,
and so
you want to keep them shaved, even in the wintertime. Yeah, even in the wintertime, shave them, because most of the time my dogs will lay in the bed with me. Like Bowser.
Now, we were talking earlier about probiotics.
That recliner that I had for when I was
streaming. Is there a benefit of probiotics once you've taken antibiotics
still in my room, and I was going to get rid of it? And like this dude will lay in the bed with me,
that's
no matter what,
really at this
always
point
ends up in the recliner. He loves my fucking recliner, bro. He just loves it, bro. He fucking puts his fucking head on the armrest and stares at my bed while I'm asleep. He loves my LSU blanket, so I put my LSU blanket on the recliner, and he just curls up in that bed.
saying is, is it
passes
beneficial to
out.
people?
Daniels,
They do take
Have you
probiotics.
not seen
super
this
lap
with
on
Finer in the
antibiotics.
stream?
Because
Got peanut butter
antibiotics
all
do
over it.
have a devastating effect on your flora.
Yeah.
Kills the bad stuff, but it also kills a lot
I
of
love
good
you,
stuff,
Doe.
right?
Yeah.
So is it beneficial for people once they have taken an antibiotic to take probiotics to sort of reflourish at least temporarily?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
I'm
is
just done with this.
It
dude,
doesn't.
bro. Like, I'm just.
The data don't
You're
support
just getting
that.
defended. You're
You get a short-term boost.
I'm just defending it. I'm just gonna defend it.
Keep taking it.
Even they just don't stay around. Your normal gut flora will come back.
Hey, man, you remember you were talking about that one night
probiotics
at
themselves are not giving you that long-term boost.
So you don't think there's any benefit to having even
we got into a brawl? I think that was the night that you came in. You might have been with Jules then. I'm not sure. But I think you walked in when I think was it the night where I smacked you in the face when you called Danielle a bitch?
No, this was like we jumped this fucking kid outside.
Now, there's one exception.
No, it wasn't part of that. Because I know that Mike walked in, and the dude, I had just got back with Danielle after the first breakup, and this dude called Danielle a bitch, and he was like 50-something. And I was like, what the fuck you just said? And I went right over to him, I smacked the shit out of him, right in his face, and he was like, really, dude?
There are treatments for that.
What you want to do, bro? I was like, let's go outside. Right when we walked outside, Mike and Tyler came up behind this 50-year-old man and fucking beats them in the back of the head.
Well, purified bugs from the poop. You're right, but you take that, and that kind of is what
I think
you're
you might have
walked. That does have
in
real
right when that shit
was
going on. Nothing happened after
You
that.
take those fecal transplants.
Oh, I can't. I'm sorry.
That can have a major positive impact on recovery
so every
from
time,
things like
every time we're playing bomb,
and so more and more institutions now actually are doing
to each other. You always want to have those.
But you never thought that would be one thing you do one day. But for those who've had this problem, they're
I know you don't play bomb a lot.
Maybe we should change the name.
That would, although on the other hand, you don't forget it if you you don't forget it.
Yeah, you don't forget if it's a fecal transplant, but that's what's going to be nerve-wracking to people. Right?
Yeah. You know, once you're that sick, boy, it feels good to take. It does.
Thermite, behind me.
I've never done it. I've never had a problem where I've had to. But for the I've known people who have been desperately sick who've taken them.
Oh my God, they're all right here. They're all right here.
Much better.
I want to ask you about Lyme disease.
Sure.
Lyme disease is a scary one, right? And I mean, so many of my friends on the East Coast have it.
There's
it's really
four
terrifying.
of them walking in through that doorway where I just
part
got
of the
killed.
country in particular seems to be like really bad.
Dang it! He's aiming in on the freaking door.
That carry this disease.
He had no health either.
What can people do to prevent that? And what can we? There's no vaccine for Lyme disease, and I know there was at one point in time, but people were having an issue with. A good friend of mine, her dad actually got Lyme disease from the vaccine before they discontinued it. What can someone do to sort of protect themselves?
Yeah, well, Lyme disease in of itself is a fascinating story. I've actually been involved with it since its early discovery in the 1980s. And Minnesota, Wisconsin was a big focus of the upper Midwest. And this is a story that I think you'll find interesting, is that even though it was discovered primarily in the eastern part of the United States, named after Lyme, Connecticut, it's a disease that actually
unreal.
And I tell you that because it turns out that there is a focus in northern Wisconsin and east central Minnesota where there's Lyme disease, there's another disease called
these guys are baiting us outside, so we got to play more defensive,
etc. That all seem to have a similar kind of tick, human, deer kind of component. And back in the CCC days of the 1930s, the white-tailed deer population had been virtually totally depopulated from the Northeast. And so they actually trapped deer in northern Wisconsin and took them out and deposited them in New York and Connecticut and so forth. And most of those deer are actually deer that, you know.
So don't reinforce these right here, right?
Great grandfather came from Wisconsin. And guess what?
Get out of my way.
In fact, I was involved with a study that the Wisconsin Division of Health did, and a colleague of mine.
So we're in this room, and they're trying to play it over here.
Up in northern Wisconsin, the deer come to the check station. They would actually measure them attached to the middle.
I'm gonna hold down the garage.
And they asked hunters who were driving back to Madison and Milwaukee if they would be willing to check in at the station down there for just a second. And then they were going to count the ticks again. And it turned out that as the vehicles come rolling down from Highway 50.
I'm bringing my dog when I go down.
Get on the Interstate 9094 and go to
Milwaukee,
Madison. The ticks just kept falling off.
You have any females?
By the time they get to Madison or Milwaukee, the ticks were almost all gone.
What?
Well, yes, lo and behold,
you have any females? Or are they both
boys?
So forth started to show up right along the interstate.
And I don't know if they'll get along with other dogs.
Because the ticks were coming off, and then they were getting into the local deer in that population. And so it's exactly what you said. The ticks were moving. They're moving. Okay, they've moved. And they're now infected. So I think that this Lyme disease issue is a key one. Lyme disease is a really important disease. It's real. No question about it. The challenge we have is
I can't see shit. I
got
got
a lot
2
of
dogs
people
jumping
that
up on my
have
ass.
chronic Lyme infection. And the data on that is just really, really not there to support.
Can't see shit right now, dude.
Chronically infected, but they do have an immune response likely that occurs where it sets up this trigger, and so they're sick. They actually have something, but it's not treating it again for the bacterial infection. It's the fact that this body, your own body's immune system, we've talked about several times today, starts attacking you. So I think it's a similar picture we see with chronic fatigue syndrome, same kind of thing. These people really are sick. They really do have problems, but it's not something you can treat. So when people, I have a challenge because when people take IV antibiotics at extended periods of time for Lyme disease,
I got him. I got the final kill of the captain.
Yo, look at this mouse.
Yeah, this dude's got a mouse.
People had what we call a double-blind control.
It's just like dope.
Where half got
you can't do that with a controller. I don't care.
IV, but no drug. And it turned out all 4 of these studies in Lyme disease, the people who got just the placebo did just the same as the people
I'm gonna ask him. I'm actually gonna ask him.
And I worry that we're using antibiotics a lot there. And this is where I just mentioned earlier about Clostridium difficile. We actually had a patient in Minnesota that died from the IV treatment for what was chronic Lyme disease. It wouldn't have been.
Look at this picture.
And so,
what's he doing? What's he doing with a mouse and keypad?
Did you know you can make videos that dazzle like this tower of cupcakes?
Flow like water.
Use Biteable.com to wow your audience
You
with
guys flow
stunning
like water?
creations.
Is that what it means?
Select
Flow like
from
water.
Flow.
We need a lot more research
Flow like
in this
water.
area to figure out what are these
Flow like
people
water.
getting? What is
Flow
it that
like
we
water.
can shut off so that they don't have this chronic
Why the
Lyme
dog
disease
jumping over my
picture,
fucking face when
knowing
I
that
popped
it's not
IQ?
actually
I didn't
just
see what the fuck was
treatable.
going on.
Treatment's not going to help them with the antibiotics anymore. And so I think that that's an area that
Your dog's a 6.
we just need a lot
He's a
more.
window
And
shot.
the numbers are growing.
Man, to me.
Yeah, so we don't know what's happening.
Well, there's
My dog is
there's
way
enough
too.
data to say
They
your
got
immune
big
system
roots.
is really cranked up. Your immune system is
window
like, yeah, it's like rheumatoid arthritis. A lot of things thank God for our immune system. It fights off all the bad things we have, but sometimes that immune system gets turned on too much, and then it takes on us. Okay, and goes back to the coronavirus. That's why a lot of these people are dying.
I just want
now,
dope to not get
this overvigorous
fucking
immune
wrecked.
response. And Lyme
How's it
disease
going with the
is
pooch,
kind of
bro?
that same inciting event.
Good, man.
where we
Hey,
have
you're
evidence
going
now that
fast.
you could be
Oh my
infected
God,
with
he's
the
just a
bacteria,
little.
but if we
Glad
treat it, it's like every
glad
other
you got
bacteria,
him,
you can really get rid of it.
Absolutely.
But you still have this chronic
downstairs.
illness that's occurring. And what I think is hard is that we see
There's a
people
lot.
who
He's
have
like-
this, who are desperate
I don't know
to
what
have
happened. Like,
somebody
within
understand
a
what
few
they
weeks,
have,
he like
and they end
spurred
up
it
going
up
to
quick.
people who take real advantage of it. Clinicians who charge them an arm and a leg for things
crazy
that
how
are not
fast
going to
he's
help
growing.
them. And what we need is a lot more research on what,
Yeah,
Like
that's how I feel
like
about
a
my
what
kitten, yeah.
kind of drugs can
Yeah,
we
dude,
use
he's
to
a legit.
reverse this immune system.
Oh man, behind
I
you! What
have
the fuck? He's coming in! He's coming in!
UFC
Whoa!
fighter Jim Miller.
Oh
and
my God!
He's got
Bullshit.
Lyme disease.
I just got interrogated.
And he takes a stack of pills. I don't know what he takes every day.
Yeah.
What do you think someone is taking, and
What happened, dog?
what benefit would they
I don't-
get
The
from
fuck
that?
are y'all
I
at?
couldn't tell. I mean, I'm not,
Sweats. That's what
without knowing
happened.
what's there. But again, more often than not, if he's been adequately
See,
treated,
that's what I don't like
it's
about
not that the
watching
bacteria is
or
still
playing
growing in
her,
him,
because you
like
can't
it
see
might
how you
be
get
for a lot
killed.
of
It's
but
an autoimmune.
it's
She turns on
autoimmune,
me
which
so
is real.
fast, I
I mean,
have to
that's
leave
the
it.
other thing is I think these people just want to be legitimized and said,
She
you know,
tried
I'm
to
really sick.
interrogate me
Right.
before
And
she
I'm
even
not-
started shooting
It's not
you.
something I'm
I know,
mentally
bro.
ill about,
What the
whatever.
f- Like that's
But
mouse
then we've
and
got to
keypad
figure
all
out what
the way
is
right
it
there,
you
buddy.
have. And
So
I,
we really don't know.
She literally
I'm telling you, when the
zoomed
new
on
Wow, but it's been
when the
around
new
for so
Xbox
long.
I know, but
comes
this is
out,
where we need
it's
a lot more
supposedly
research
mouse
about
and
this
key,
in terms of
keyboard
what is it that's
compatibility, man. I'm
making
about to
these
fucking,
people
I'm
like
about to
this.
jump on that
And
shit,
this is
bro.
really important.
Promise.
And is there
you, I got
anything they
a
can do to
million
eradicate
guests
the ticks?
down at the beginning.
You know,
I'm
that
definitely gonna set
this
that
is
shit
another
up for
thing
that,
you'll
bro.
find interesting.
Because I used to kill on PC
in
back in the day with Delta Force
Minnesota,
Black Hawk Down, bro.
prior
that was my
to
shit.
the arrival of the first
Before it
white
came to
man,
the first Xbox, that's
the
when I
Native
switched back
Americans
over to
burned much of
consoles.
our state all the time. The prairies.
That was the first game I ever played on online, right after Counter Strike. I didn't even know that you could play against people online, bro. That was like the newest thing to me ever. I was like, you mean I could play against other people?
Open up so much of
I was like, what?
That you'd have a very different kind of mammals, population, deer, et cetera, and with the suppression of fire, what's happened is we now have, instead of having these old growth forests, we have all this younger, non-pine or any kind of, like the oak trees of the upper Midwest are all disappearing because oak trees need sunlight. And fire is what they were very resistant to fire. And so the old oak forests and so forth would survive because of fire. Whereas today, no fire, the elms and the maples and everything else comes in, and the buckthorn and all that kind of stuff and takes over. So what's happening is, in our state of Minnesota, is we have a really good example of this, is we're losing our moose. And the big primary reason is brainworm. Brainworm. It's a type of parasite that's common in white-tailed deer but causes no problems. In moose, it actually causes a brain infection and it kills them. And guess why it's happening? Because the deer range has moved farther and farther north in Minnesota.
Try to keep this.
I'm sorry. That has moved farther in northern Minnesota because of lack of fire, because the forest is changing. So now, where there only used to be moose,
Doc's in the corner to the left,
and where that intersection is, we're starting to see moose develop this brainworm infection because it's from the deer. So the tick population has changed, and it's largely due to the fire. Lack of fire in many places. In the Northeast,
in the corner to the right,
it never used to be like it was. We had fire all the time that would clear out these areas, and it was just part of natural everything. So one of the challenges we have with ticks is they're here. We're not going to change how we live, suburbs and trees and all of that.
He was dead anyways. That cat cam was going to crack them.
Eliminate a lot of them.
They do, because what they do is they just not eliminate the ticks, but what they do is they eliminate, for example, the white-field mice, or all these different species that are important.
Let's go. It's time to
and
run
then
them.
they bring in different species that will be there. So
Let's just
a big debate in Minnesota right now. We're losing all these moose to brainworm.
Freaking planet.
Ironically, the moose population is expanding.
Unreal.
Why? Because there's no.
I just bought these rechargeable batteries.
And so they're not getting
working good.
So people have said, we're going to lose our moose.
Literal batteries.
The deer. So fire actually has helped the moose in areas of northern Minnesota where there's been a lot of fire. The moose population is growing.
Oh boy.
Because the deer are not there because exactly those mammals, those rodents and so forth are very different.
Gotta get our dogs out
of
play date here
soon.
Go lay your big ass down.
Well, they do control burns in some states. I was hunting in Washington State a couple years ago, and he said it was really weird because there's these massive fires in the distance that were actually being controlled. They do it on purpose.
Yeah, which is a lot better than having the out-of-control fires where you have so much fuel.
Yeah.
And if you haven't had
I don't know, man. Paulo bark.
Oh, this is perfect.
Paulo barks the fuck out of the neighbors.
And so actually they do that in northern Minnesota too. They're doing controlled burns in the prairies.
I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna run in, bro.
Okay, this is the one with the shitty door, bro.
You're dealing with a lot of these
sort
of almost residential areas that have all these ticks.
Yeah, you can't. In there you can't. There we have to find ways. That's where we really have to have vaccines and treatments for these diseases. We're not going to get rid of the tick.
Sure.
So what we have to do is figure out.
No,
wouldn't it be incredible if we have a cocktail vaccine for
pop these fucking cameras,
for Lyme disease?
Really drop that bomb.
And that's what.
Is there any kind of an animal that eats ticks?
Through the window.
Birds, yeah, birds will eat.
Go ahead and drop the bomb.
But not enough.
Not enough.
No,
they're doing.
All right, we need a claymore right here.
And that's another issue. For some of the larger mammals, as you know,
we need one more claymore.
Get so heavy.
Look, we need another claymore right here.
At certain times of the year, literally, it takes a lot of blood out of these large animals, even though they're so big.
Yeah,
that's a lot of blood.
We plant right here.
Online, and I saw this one
cover that window
right was covered in these frisbee-sized patches of
I'll just cover the window.
That's exactly
They're all swollen.
And they're full of blood.
They know where to
there too. And it happens day after day. So it is a hit on them.
Right here.
Should pull up a picture of that. Just to freak people out.
I'm gonna get us clear.
Just they need to see this.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
It's one of those things that when you talk about ticks and you talk about Lyme disease, most people, their eyes glaze over. They don't even care. It's not affecting me until someone in your family has it.
Yep.
There's a guy that I know who, a former UFC fighter, Marcus Davis, who his wife got Lyme disease, and he spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to help her and
Watch
do
the
something
top.
about it.
Who's got the bomb?
Yeah,
I guess
it's a challenge.
I
And
have
this is
everybody
really,
covered
again,
outside.
you know, when you think of the
Oh
amount of money
my
we lose and just
I got
lost
shot.
time,
He's right
let
in front
alone
of you.
pain and
Go,
suffering.
go.
What an investment to make in this. I mean, this is the kind of thing. This is where infectious diseases really need a renaissance. I mean, we can do a lot here.
We pulled up a chart of the United States where they showed the areas that are affected by these ticks and what percentage
the plant's right in front of
carry
him.
Lyme disease.
Who's got the bomb?
And some places in the Northeast, it's
behind
in
me.
60%.
Behind
Oh,
Burberry.
exactly.
You have the bomb,
It's
Bert.
huge.
That's
And
so
it's growing.
smart.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
I mean, you understand how wildlife has changed. I mean, look at to think that we have all these wild coyote populations in New York City.
We're playing over here.
I mean, it's amazing how
Every
animals.
single city in the country.
Yeah, you know what the rats aren't doing, the coyotes are taking over, and it's a challenge. I mean, these are infectious disease issues too. They're very real.
Yeah, they have coyotes in Central Park.
They do. Yeah, absolutely.
They have them in the Bronx. They have them in. I mean, it's weird. It's weird to see because this is something that just didn't exist before. Look at it. There's. Look at
there
these.
it is.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's not the best.
He goes up behind
gross
us.
enough.
Yeah, it is. It gives you a good sense of it, though. Yeah.
Dan Flores, who has been a guest on the podcast before, has a great book called Coyote America that sort of details how this came to be and how these coyotes have. Oh, look at that! All over that.
Nice.
Oh, look at that! Look at the eye! Look at the eye in the fawn.
Oh, I'm stuck to the plane. I forgot to tell you, by the way, don't move.
But
right. I wasn't moving, bro. I was at a good spot.
Got rid of the wolves, and they tried to do the
That's
same
the
to the
worst
coyote. They
OBJ
just
to get
expanded their territory. They're sneaky, very clever little animals.
Adaptation.
Now we have to.
Just like microbes, adaptation.
I'm playing again.
Yeah.
Go out with a plan.
Is there anything else that we should cover?
No, I mean, I thank you for covering this issue on infectious disease. We can use all the help we can to get people to be aware of what's out there and what's coming, and just keeping the message straight. And we're going to get through this, but at the same time, it's going to be a challenge. You know, today you have an underlying health problem, and you're particularly over.
Big jackal, bro.
Need to use your drone to locate a bomb.
I gotta take him to the park today, man. It's gonna be 60-something degrees today. Out there in bar.
They gave him that same shithole.
Plant at the pool table.
No, the same one that we just did.
Yeah, they gave them the same place.
Yeah, we'll just do the same strategy.
Right.
Oh, okay.
We don't need them claymores ready though.
5 seconds to insertion.
What side are we spawn on then?
Not this side. I think I fucked up.
Location and defuse it.
On you, bro. Get this, man.
Burberry, you got the diffuser.
Yep, it's perfect.
So this time we could plant right here, but the only thing is, hold on.
No, we can't.
Hold up, bro. Hold up.
Come on.
But you got that door right there, though. That's the problem with this one.
All right.
So let's go. No, go around. Go around.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's wide open. Got a shield right. Okay,
They
yeah.
got a shield too.
They got a shield there. That's why. Okay.
Go to the other side.
Go around.
I'll keep him distracted.
Hi, buddy. Right behind you, don't.
No. You don't want to go this way. Go to the other one.
Which other
one?
Go
the other way. Go to the first one. You gotta climb up and go around.
I'm confused.
The first place we planted, bro.
Over by me.
Ready. I'm over here and someone's saying go here, go there. I don't know where we're going. A, B, C, D.
Flash is over here on me on this door.
I'm running over there with you. Just thought we were gonna go in there.
I'm dry.
Alright, come on, buddy. You gotta go. Over here.
Flash is dead.
God damn it. Mirror's fucked up.
Alright, I'm dropping. I'm dropping down. No, buddy. No. Get back. Get back. Here, take this.
You have dropped the diffuser.
Come on.
The diffuser is now secured.
I'm over here in the corner to the left.
Stay right there.
Cavalier is right here on my.
They're gonna jump out. They're gonna jump out. Run real far back.
She's right here, Spark. She's right here on me.
Oh, Cavalier's right in front of me. She just killed me.
Right here. Right here. She's just peeking. She's literally like, don't even do it. Just wait. Just wait. As soon as I put my shield down, she's gonna stop.
Is she trying to defuse?
No, she can't.
I'll let you know if she is.
There she goes. She still doesn't have enough time.
Yo, she's doing it. She's doing it.
Yeah. She's done.
Whoa.
Got her.
She's done. Oh, MVP, baby. MVP, baby.
In the dark.
MVP.
Nice job, Riddler. Nice job, B.
I fucking did it, bro. MVP,
Shining Armor sent me an invite to a party. Oh my god.
Hit that like, share, and follow button after that MVP, man.
Boy, he on fire,
Johnny Walker,
man.
cheers,
Plays
mate.
better when he drinks.
Right? Save the game on that one.
I just had to sit up. I'm Gucci.
Bro, I got 3 kills on that match, bro. I tore him up. Cavi, I should have had Cavi though too, but she caught me reloading.
Dude, I thought I was gonna get fucking Clash, but she just turned around when I fired. Fucking fucked me all up.
I almost had her too. I almost had a fucking.
It was the luck of the spaniel.
I'm glad you made it over to the other spot there, bro.
Yeah, I didn't know what we were doing. I was like,
I just held. Hey, as soon as you guys said that you were moving to the other side where me and Burberry were originally at, when he started to move, I just sat at that doorway for the rest of the time with Clash, and I just kept picking off her teammates when they were trying to peek behind her. They didn't know where I was at. I was behind the forklift.
Nice.
It doesn't matter what happened. We got it done, boys.
Mm-hmm. Fuck yeah.
Done. 4v5.
Bro, I forgot to even tell y'all, man. I got some stinky pinky Monday night when I went out this fucking CJ's twice with the same chick though. Bro, ultimate fantasy, bro. This girl is a fucking preschool teacher, man. So she comes to the fucking bar. I met her 2 Mondays ago. She comes to the bar with fucking pigtails on, like wearing like a lingerie like top and then like some jeans, bro. And I started macking on her. And then she was like, yeah, man, my ex-boyfriend's here and shit. And I was like, oh yeah, where's he at? And she's like, somewhere over there. And I was like, hey, let's go to the bar. I'll get you a drink. Let's make out right in front of him. Fucking sure enough, she took the fucking bait, bro. So I'm fucking like making out with this girl right in front of her ex. Took her home. And then this past Monday, she was there again. And I got it on fucking Tuesday or whatever. Ultimate fantasy,
Did you tell her you love her?
Nah, bro. I've been putting it down on her. I'm going to smash on Saturday.
Did you stick it in? Did you stick it in soft and wait for the ribs to
crack?
Bro,
this girl is a fucking freak, boy.
Sent you an invite, Riddlen. You got a party here.
I got it. I'm coming, bro.
Gucci.
We're on my time, bro. Don't ever disrespect me, man. When I'm telling about my sex life, all right?
Stick it in soft and wait for the ribs to crack.
She likes cold popsicles after a long night of anal. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get round 3 on Saturday, bro. Actually, like, to be honest with you, the girls, I'd be chit chatting with her like all day long, bro. She's kind of cool, man. I might try to fucking take her out. Out.
So now that I hit it in the motherfucking back seat, I might try to take her out.
No, I didn't hit it in the back seat. I hit it at her crib both times.
At her crib?
Uh-huh.
Got her own place, bro?
Yep.
Oh my god. Lock it down. Got a kid?
No. At least I don't think she does. I didn't ask her that.
Lock it down.
No, I don't think she does. No, I think I confirmed it. I don't think she does have a kid. Perfect.
Lock it down.
She's like 25. Bro, the whole pigtail thing, man, that's the only... Bro, I don't even have confidence like that to talk to girls whenever I go out, man. I hate making the first move. Never been good at that, but I can close the deal. And, like, bro, I seen her. I just walked right up to her, man. I was just like, yo, what's up?
What's up?
She's got the whole glasses, too, bro, with the pigtail. Oh, bro, it was like my fucking dick was hard before I even said hello.
Kim Jong-un orders to shoot anyone who tests positive with coronavirus.
Awesome, that's fake.
Yeah, right. North Korea, bro, you never know.
Bro, do you know in North Korea that every household has a poster of him, right? With a little cloth, and you have to wipe down the poster every day. If they do an inspection on your house and they find any type of dust or the photo is dirty, they will fucking put you and the rest of your family for the next 10 years in a work camp. The generation even after you has to go to a work camp, bro. No, I swear to God, that's a true. It's a true statement, bro. This chick got out of there. She like got out of North Korea, man. And there's a book about it, man. She made it out of it, and she talks to you, bro. You know that like there's multiple statues in North Korea of him, and all the electricity goes to lighting up the statues at nighttime.
Make sure she's okay. If
they only allow
infected, follow the NHS.
They only allow that the households to have a certain amount of electricity per day. The rest of it gets generated to the statues. Oh, I gotta switch this podcast up because this one just ended. I'm gonna go to a funny one now, where they're just talking shit about it. I'll go to Coco Diaz. Oh shit, let me pick. You took Capcan again? Faggot, bro.
Did I? Man, my bad, bro. I just instinct at this point.
Straight up, bro. I'm getting tired of this shit, bro. I get MVP and then you don't even let me get the character that I want.
Who did you get MVP with?
I got MVP. Well, I don't know. I did well. I was Thermite at the end, but I was Thermite and I think Capcan originally. 769.
On now. Oh boy.
What are you doing, bub? What's up, big boy?
Oh, nice.
Oh boy.
This is perfect.
What's up, big boy? What's up, big boy?
Be advised, a bomb location has been compromised.
What's up, big boy?
So they call a trainer, a sneaker, a jumper, a sweater, and a few minutes.
Which door should I castle?
This one over here.
This one.
And then the main door in the lobby.
Bathroom.
Hold on.
Just castle whatever, man. Pff, unreal.
This one right here.
Castle the, castle this window. Castle this window.
All right,
castle that window.
Hold on.
We live in
Watch out,
strange times.
yeah, that's good. No, you don't want to get the bottom because you don't want to be
The housing bubble burst and the rise of inequality is a very big Texas. Our front rank issue. Blue-collar jobs were lost. Two groups have been left behind, but it's a complicated story. Instead of saying, all right, let me try to figure this out.
I'm dead.
Make sense of this.
God damn it.
Doing economics requires stepping back from all of the details to say, what is this?
Right behind you, bro.
Did somebody watch this side?
Greetings from Podcastville.
I'm gonna get this.
The Church of What's
right
Happening Now is brought to you by Zip Recruiter. Listen,
Oh,
hiring
shit.
used to be hard.
Fuck, man.
Multiple job sites, stacks of resumes, confusing review process. But today, hiring can be easy. And you can only have one place to get it done. Are you ready for this? ZipRecruiter.com/church. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 2 out of 5 employees who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Where are you going to get that? Listen, it's all about saving time. And right now, you can get ZipRecruiter for free. What are you talking about, Joey? Listen, for free. All you got to do is go to ZipRecruiter.com/church.
I killed him.
And they'll let you try out ZipRecruiter.com, the smartest way to hire.
Thermite.
Now, like I said, ZipRecruiter for free. The church family.
Watch this door behind
right
you.
now. So ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Oh, buddy, come on. You got to stay
it's
over
Monday,
here. You're
the 16th
trying to
of
tightrope
March.
Tightrope to get
For
over
starters,
to me, man?
I'm very sorry. about Nyack on Thursday night. I'm very sorry I had to cancel. But listen, I'm the last guy that wants to get anybody. I don't go take people down dark streets. I don't. I like to, if I go down a dark street, I go by myself. I've been like that for 57 years. You know, the thing is in New Rochelle, it's growing like a pimple, and you know, it's 10 minutes from there, from Nyack.
Wow. Okay.
There was no way. First of all, I was supposed to go back to shoot a movie.
I shot him when he was reloading. Oh,
I was going to go back, and I was supposed to shoot today.
Oh no, he
tomorrow.
still got me. Wow. Okay.
So a lot of the podcasts
So
you
shot
can
me while
listen
you was
to have
reloading?
been pre-recorded
Okay.
because I thought I was going to be gone for 10 days. But what happened was, my knee had been hurting for like the last 6 months. My knee's been hurting.
I'm gonna be castle again. You can take cap. You can take cap. Go ahead.
Called my doctor.
Just tell me which doors I should castle.
And I went down.
I can play, bro. I can play really good with
them. An MRI. And my arthritis and my knees is really bad.
What do we get? Blue bar?
So he said the right one was next to the left one.
Blue bar.
So he's gonna shoot me in the right one first. There's no resistance.
Oh, yeah, it's
like
a big
gel
boy, huh?
that goes in between your knee and it foams in there to loose, you know, to lighten up the pain of arthritis.
All right, bro, you want to cancel?
But he ordered 2 shots, but he said he was only going to give me 1 because sometimes you get
I know.
allergic
Mine's over
reaction.
here licking his junk. How you like that?
It's still
Big ass baby.
And that was a week
Mine's
ago
over being a
yesterday.
pit.
So
How about that?
when Tuesday morning, when I woke up and my leg, he told me he's only going to give you 1 in case you get.
You know, the only reason I started drinking Johnny Walker Black is because Bill Burr, man, when I used to listen to his podcast, he used to talk about how he always
don't pass
right here.
a lot of.
My wife drives me back.
It's a good day.
It's all about
And
Bill Burr.
I don't think we did anything
I haven't listened to
Monday.
this podcast in like
I
fucking
think I
a year
just
now.
relaxed because I
And
didn't
then
know
cancel this one right here.
that position if I made plans and I didn't know if I was going to pass out or.
It's really a dope's fault that I fucking died.
When I woke up, my knee was swollen. And I didn't even know it. I got up and went to boxing.
All right, still got one more.
I boxed for an hour.
All
I
right,
went
then
there and
cancel
did
this one
drills
right
and
here.
everything. And after class, that's when the teacher said,
Get in
your
here,
knee is
Spartan.
bruised, right? And I go, no. And I looked at it, and the whole side of it was purple over a Band-Aid. I still had left the band. I forgot I even got the shot on Tuesday morning. I don't know what the hell was wrong with me. And I got home, I called the doctor, and he goes, it's going to swell up. And right away, he goes, just put ice on it and don't fly for a couple of days. I'm like, oh no. But by Monday, after I listened to the Rogan podcast, that was the best podcast he ever did in his life. And just the fact that he called me afterwards and explained to me that he was having the same doubts I was having. Because listen, I got a GED, man. I'm not a genius, but I knew last Monday that New York was going to be bad. I mean, I spent 3 weeks in New York, and that had been the first time I had spent quality time in the city.
There's a drone in his room with us in the blue bar. Oh, I got him.
25 years, so I didn't know what the city was about. And me and my wife were having a conversation 2 days ago, and I remember my second week on the set of The Sopranos. I had Tuesday off. I had just returned from 420. I went to Milwaukee, and I was smoking those vapors, pens. For some reason, I got vapors to go to New York, and I had a headache. So that Monday, I still remember I was across the street from the Garden, and during the day, they have like a little thing on the side of the street in the Garden. It's like food trucks. You could buy food in this building and go outside. They got tremendous steak sandwiches. They got everything in there. It's like a little lunch place. And you go outside and sit on the side of the Garden.
I tried to go and flank the thermite, and I got flanked
And
myself.
it was a beautiful day.
Sledge.
It was April 22nd, you know, whatever it was. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, man, I'm talking to my wife, and my wife remembered the conversation.
Should have stayed where I was at, man. He would have walked
go,
right
you know
by
what,
me.
man? There's a lot of people walking these streets. You know, what if? And she goes, what do you mean? I go, I can't imagine like Godzilla attacking or somebody dropping a bomb here. We had this conversation.
Yeah.
So when I saw the map Tuesday, and I saw New Rochelle had already been contaminated and whatnot.
Fuck, man, I gotta piss, man. This Johnny Walker's going right through me, man.
Well, the scariest thing for me about that Rogan podcast was everyone saying, "Oh, wash your hands, wash your hands."
Yeah.
And the
It's
thing
really
is transmitted through your breath, through your mouth.
Can't wait to get
So
a
there's
bottle
no
of
way you
Diaz
feel like you
down
can
there.
wash your hands
I'm really
all
excited
day.
about that.
It doesn't mean anything.
You know what, man?
Kitchen.
But I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Oh yeah.
I don't touch my unit unless I wash my hands. I'm one of those guys.
I can't piss. I'm gonna pick my guy and go piss.
Quicker draw. That's
I
all
don't
it
touch
is.
my unit unless I wash my hands. Whether I'm in an airport,
Random bullets up them.
unit in somebody's mouth.
I'm not gonna use my drone.
Decorating,
I'm just gonna pick my
like
character.
decorating
I've
for
been vigilant about this since day one.
Oh man, if you don't use your drone, you're out of here.
It doesn't take a genius.
Okay.
You know, I went to Atlanta on the 24th, and I saw the invasion of Asians.
Exactly.
I have nothing against them. I'm not saying nothing wrong.
What do you want?
And then I went to Vegas on the 29th
that has to be dead.
of February. Vegas
I got
is
Joey Coco
14%
Diaz right
this
now on the
weekend.
podcast. He's a funny
Vegas
dude.
is shutting down today. Casinos shut down today.
Do those have a fair
Airlines
use
will
act?
probably shut down tomorrow.
What?
That's it. But
Podcast.
when I woke up
Well,
Wednesday,
I'm not sure I Googled it, but
I
most of the
called her
podcasts are
Tuesday night
free
and told them the
anyways.
truth.
You know what
I
I'm
wasn't
saying?
supposed
To
shoot till
listen to.
Monday.
But people
There
aren't
was
making
no
money
reason
off
for
of
me
them,
to be
though.
lurking
You're-
around.
you
No,
figure
they
you
do.
have
They make
on
them.
the
They make them off
ferries or
ads,
whatnot.
like
There
Zip
was no reason
Recruiter
for
and
it.
fucking.
And once I saw my knee
Oh,
swollen, I just called them up and I
MeUndies.
said, "Listen, I'm not coming in today. I'm coming in Saturday."
So like right now,
So I switched to my
like
Saturday.
right now,
we
my
would
dog
know.
Bowser is
I
laying
knew
on
for a
top of
fact.
Bowser's cage on
They
the
called
pillow,
me back
which
and
is
said they
right
were
next to
gonna fly
my
me in
my
Sunday with
nephew's
John.
bed. So he's
Berto.
laying right
He
next
was
to
gonna fly in,
my nephew
shoot the
on
movie, and fly
Bowser's
back
cage.
on
Now
Tuesday night after the movie.
Bowser is in the cage
There was
below.
gonna
So if
be
I
no
try to go in
wasted
there and
time,
try to
but
get
I
Bowser to
knew
come in my room, he'll fucking
Thursday
start
that this
fucking
wasn't
barking at me, or
They
Bowser
were
will start
already
fucking like
starting
getting aggressive.
to shut
Crazy.
TV shows. They were starting to shut a bunch of stuff. And then Friday,
They're
I got
protecting
call
the
in
young.
the
They're
afternoon
protecting
to pull down production.
No, Bowser's not protecting him.
That's what I was wondering. I was
Bowser
wondering if they're keeping like.
Oh, okay.
Bowser's
Well,
the one that
They
gets
never
aggressive.
canceled post when I was working in post ever. So I'm
Bowser,
like
no.
shutting that stuff down.
Well, post.
Oh, we're
you
not
work by
running any
yourself.
strat right now. I think
Yeah,
it's
but
just free.
still.
Running free.
Right? You by yourself. You're fine.
I'm going with you,
Things-
bro.
Post is fine.
If things start
They
getting
don't want
crazy,
you to be in a
then
big circle.
definitely
I mean,
gonna
listen,
run
an
the
office is an
plan
office.
OBJ.
Every office is
I'm just gonna go
different.
top and breach top.
There's nothing you could do about that.
I'm
Even
coming
our
with you.
little office. There's tons of germs in here just from us. That's
gonna
why
be
I
hard
came
for me to
here
do anything.
last
I got
week
this
for
dog,
2 nights.
like-
I wiped everything down. We brought extra wipes. Me and Mercy came in one night. We wiped everything down. We sprayed the couches. You know, I knew last week. This is not. You know, am I scared?
Watch that window, yep.
No,
I seen
I'm
him.
not scared, but I'm prepared. I'm 57. You guys have been hearing me for years. You guys make fun of my fucking emphysema. You guys know I have like
Oh, you just walked
I
across.
have the beginnings
Yep.
of
I see
emphysema
it.
from smoking since I'm 12.
How, bro?
So
Oh
I
my
fit
God,
right in
bro.
that age.
I watched blood
I'm
come
not-
off
I'm
the
not
tip of
doing
his
it.
head multiple times, and he
I'm
just
not
shot me
doing it.
once. That's
I'm
so
not, I know I'm not
bullshit,
getting on a
man.
plane. You know, and right now what people
Wow.
do not realize.
bullshit.
Come on,
is
buddy. You
that
gotta make up your mind
every
over
day
here.
we shut down.
What do you want to do?
People are
I
gonna.
can't do anything with him on my lap.
Well, did you see what happened on Japan?
No, bro. You want to know an
Oh,
easy
yeah,
way to
I-
train
I-
him, bro?
this is
Put
why.
him in a
This is
spot.
why, because it's not
Pick him
what
up,
you do.
Put him back in the same
It's
spot
what
over and over
other
again. Tell
people
him to
do
stay.
That's what
there.
I'm
Just
doing.
Continues.
So before that
Just tell him to
happened,
keep doing
just
it.
shut it down.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
I
doing
knew
with it.
March 2nd, I wasn't
That's what I
going
used to
back
do with
the
them in my
store.
room, man. When I had
Come on,
my
buddy.
TV,
When I went to
when I
the
had my
store
TV
on
kitty
March
corner,
2nd,
when I had a small
after
TV
my
when I
Vegas
first got it
trip,
and shit,
and they told me that
Bowser was the
Vegas
one
was
that
at
annoyed me most, so
50%
I would put a pillow
that
on the
weekend.
floor in
February
front of the TV
29th,
so he
Vegas
would
was
lay
at
down in front of
50%.
me. And I'd be like, stay there.
Even though we sold out, thank you very
Stay
much.
there, because Bowser
We
will
were
always
at
lay on my bed, so
50%
I didn't
Las
have to worry
Vegas,
about
the
it.
whole
Yeah,
city
yeah,
of Las
yeah.
Vegas. So when I got
Oh, I
back,
got it. All right, I got
that
to
was
kill
when the
system.
scare
All right,
started
I was about to
getting
say,
a little
bro.
bit more.
You shot him like
I
one
could see
time and he
the
went
airport
down,
was
right?
dead, you know. And
You
I
like
remember
fucking
going to
fucked
that
up, dude.
comedy store Tuesday night, and I had 2 shows.
Nice.
And I remember going into that main room,
Fucking
the
bitch,
Sarah
dog.
Mello show, and she had 20 people in that green room, and my anxiety shot up.
Oh.
My
Whenever you're
anxiety
at.
shot up.
Back here,
I
buddy.
got out
What?
of there, and I went to the
Come on.
hallway,
Run right to me.
and I stayed there by the door.
Back in the
And I
back.
breathed, and I made a mental note
Lounges.
not to go back down there until we figured out what this was. Thank God the comedy store, you know, they're geniuses, and they said we're closing it down. We know it. I told them. I said Tuesdays and Thursdays and Wednesdays is half international audience. It's a death sentence for us.
Yeah.
You know, it's an international audience. I have nothing against them. I'm glad they come and support support and they come to the comedy store and they see
go,
the
boys.
beauty that I see. But at the same time, we all have to protect ourselves.
I've had every show except for one next week. All the way to the middle of April has been canceled.
Yeah, there's no reason. There's no reason. I have, Santa Barbara's obviously canceled. I'm very sorry.
Fucking
we will make that up some other time of the year. I'm not worried about it. April, I have Reno.
It's gonna be my last one when I log on to Bless.
Portland's already been canceled.
Oh boy,
you're playing Bless for the rest of the night. You're gonna jump on Madden.
I doubt I'm gonna get playing.
I might play Madden after I do
for me.
I got to do my
age. It's
dailies and shit. Everything resets at 1.
What we'll do is
all right. So who wants to play
all
something?
my ticket prices
other than Bless?
$25. Because when I get back on the road,
what can we play? That's
$25. That's it. We're gonna go.
We can continue to play this. We can play.
We're gonna go through whether it's 1 week,
we can play
2
PUBG,
weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We're gonna suffer.
I was like, I got 3 games.
The first week that we're open at the store, we're probably gonna do benefits for the wait staff.
I'm down with pub, man. I'm better
at
pub than I am at this.
Gentlemen,
y'all already know that for a fact.
But I told the comedy store that our first weekend.
If y'all are still rocking after I do my dailies,
because they got used to a certain lifestyle also. And
I'd be down for some pub.
And
you're such a fucking whore, dude. You just wait to do what everybody else
the first thing we're doing at the
I
store.
just wish that we could pick crackheads still, man.
Boys,
you're such a slut.
I don't like being talked to like that, man.
Yeah,
I bet. Get him out of the party.
What about
get him out?
Minimum wage?
Get him out of the
I
party.
wish that we could play Kraken still over and over again, man.
Like you said, they're shutting down the grocery store now early.
Yeah.
That's a whole shift of people that's going. It's
that and the snow map.
I remember
we got to roll the dice between
you do that math. You're like, oh, I only have
4 maps.
But there's only like 4
of money.
Yeah, well, there's 5, but the snow.
Think about having a month with no
6 months.
I don't even know why they took
6 months, 12 months.
Like imagine if you had just moved to LA.
They should have took out Miramar.
In
September,
September,
fucking snow map, man.
Like it's pretty crazy.
I can't imagine.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, bro. Who just threw that flashbang, bro? I'm about to fucking team kill.
Just the effects of all this. I just can't imagine it. And my heart goes out to America. My heart goes out to the world. I know what it is to struggle. I know what it is, so this is what I'm thinking about. Again, I'm very sorry about Nyack, but man, I couldn't live with myself.
What?
If I saw that somebody got infected during one of my shows,
still there.
Or that they went to a show and they all went to an improv that night, and now my name goes out negatively like that.
She shot me through that little hole.
I want to make a few fucking dollars. That's not what it's about.
Bullshit,
this is not the time to do.
Watch out by the mirror fucking thing. She's got a little hole in the wall.
I don't like people breathing on my neck.
Get me, boys.
You see how I get? I don't even like people standing next.
In Clap City, you all.
You go with me to a restaurant? Yeah. You see when they sit next to people, I always tell the waiter.
Yeah, she's got like a little peephole right there, but I don't even know how she fucking got me, bro.
And you got me on top of a couple that's nice people. They're gonna hear us two gorillas talking about the language I talk. No. I don't like being around people. That's one thing I've never liked, is sitting on top of people, sitting next to people. I've always hated that stuff. So flying, I don't know what's gonna happen right now.
And I'm a big. I almost never cook.
Okay.
But I haven't cooked since last week. I don't trust. I mean, it's hard to trust anybody now.
What are you talking about? You don't eat out since last week.
Right. I know. I never cooked, but I'm only been cooking since last week. I don't trust any of these restaurants.
Oh, good luck, boy.
It's not the trust. Is you rather be safe.
Come on, you ran. You booked it,
sorry. You still got to support a couple of these places. Just take your food to go, like they're doing in Hoboken. The restaurants are staying open.
What do they have? I was going to ask you about that. They have a curfew in all of Hoboken now.
Yeah, 10-10. They're going to have a curfew everywhere.
Think so?
Yeah. For a couple of weeks, man. For a couple of weeks. You got to support. Listen, I got to still support Cactus. I still got to support Sushi Dan some way. Those are my restaurants. I still got to support the barbecue.
Down the bomb.
Go there a lot.
Where is he?
I'll try to do privates or something at the gym once this dies down. This week it's going to be punching the bag in the backyard and doing kettlebells.
Yeah.
I'm not going into no gym or anything like that.
Just directly right.
And people, and the thing that I kept hearing from people was, oh, this happens every 4 years before an election.
It does. It does.
But has something like this happened to you in your lifetime? I can't remember anything like this.
I don't remember seeing anything like this in my life. But you know what? Listen, man, you can't get depressed. You can't let it get you down. You know why? Because you can't control this. Guys, you can't control this. This is beyond your control. So before you get depressed and go into a funk and get scared and whatever, listen, I'd rather you get a notebook and start writing what you're feeling. Because if you don't think I was going through this last week, the fear I had of going to New York, I cannot tell you. And it wasn't New York or the state or the people who was being on those planes. What if I always
Same little bitch got me too, dog.
He was just behind the bar. Look at him.
They don't clean. They don't care.
I killed 4 of them.
These people do not care anymore. You know, this was
unreal.
I only killed unreal.
People were greedy and acting greedy. I mean, Jesus Christ, you're trying not to.
Was last though.
You still want to have a fight? Dana White and then
take them all.
If you would have killed him first, we would have been Gucci.
You got to think of the guy behind you. You got to think of the guy in front of you. You got to think of the guy.
I kill all the fucking scrubs.
How many toilet paper rolls do you need?
That's pretty crazy.
I went to Walgreens there. I know the girl there. You know, I always go there. I went there. She goes, "This is the first time
I don't know.
that's you buy something other than nicotine."
That's it for me on that.
And notebooks.
I
went to Walgreens and bought.
I'm on PUBG. Let's go.
She goes, "You know, I've never seen people's behavior."
I was about to say he's getting on. He's putting the battle on.
Oh,
where you at?
I thought we were gonna play fucking pub.
These are the times when you stop the
shooting game, dude. I have to swap.
Check on people.
I switched from like shooting.
You know, it's gonna cost.
See, this is why y'all need to get the hockey, bro. This is why I was saying that way we can all play the hockey game.
But I don't want all my friends to go without eating.
Plus,
this is going to be a time. This is it's not a joke, but
man,
I don't want you to get down.
So now I gotta sit here and play PUBG by myself. Unreal.
You cannot control this.
You
cannot control this.
You're welcome to
this. Is way beyond
no,
your
Spartans
control.
on pub. I just can't do.
April 4th.
I can't do constant like
I know
shooters.
You wanted to have a big wedding, but it don't look like it.
I understand that you got a vagina.
You got parents and you got people you invited who are over the age of 50.
A stinky pinky, as you call it.
So you can't think about you. I don't care what you think. Oh, there was a lady.
That fat pussy. No balls.
Voluptuous vag.
That came from New Zealand.
Unreal.
No balls.
And she was like, "Well, you know, we came all the way here for an extended weekend. What a waste."
Nothing to see here. No testes.
Go to
no testicles, dude.
2 days.
That's
enough.
He quit masturbating and all he eats is veggies. So you know what do you want, man?
So the kid was complaining because he couldn't go to Disneyland yesterday and today.
Like dust. Like dust. Like when I go, it's like it's like powder, like baby powder. First open up, it has that little initial like first pop it open. Yeah, that's me.
Disneyland. Thank God.
How would you know, man? You
Thank God. You've been to Disneyland? That's a germ bomb. That's a germ bomb. That's a germ bomb.
Yeah, buddy.
Listen, I go to New York. This is no joke. This is not to make a laugh.
No spanking the monkey, dude.
I'm trying to get that quarantine snack. You know what I'm saying?
Susceptible. Like I remember about 2 years ago, I was having conversations with my like,
that quarantine snack.
I wish I had the opportunity to smoke with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, I gotta masturbate at least 8 times a day, man.
Why do people think I don't want to smoke with anybody?
That's it.
At least.
Like I've never wanted to smoke with anybody. I knew when I was 13.
How you doing 8, bro? We've been
I would smoke in large circles, I would get sick.
I've been masturbating all the
my friend didn't smoke in large circles, I would have to think about what I was doing. I would get sick.
So is it me and Riddlen?
I knew not to smoke.
All right.
So when I went out,
I have 2 TVs in my living room, man. I got
you know.
Hey, who needs Snapchat Premium when you got fucking Facebook Live? You know what I'm saying?
I got the sex machines going on the left TV.
It'd be 3 of us. And once you build the tolerance to each threes,
getting done up by machines.
But I'm not going to go to Kentucky.
Yeah, you're going at it.
That was never going to happen. I made that mistake in the beginning.
Who needs
very beginning.
You heard me? Who needs Snapchat? Who needs Snapchat Premium when you got fucking Facebook Live? I'll just stream myself fucking masturbating, bro.
And now, can you do that on Facebook? How far can you push it on that? What's the boundaries?
Nah, you gotta keep a shirt on, man. I already got a warning from Facebook and Mixer on the same day.
Nobody gets.
I don't know about Facebook actually. I think Facebook you might be able to get away with having your shirt off, but Mixer I have to keep my shirt on at all times.
How did they know you didn't have a shirt on?
That's my.
They got people viewing you, bro. So when I first started streaming, I wouldn't even wear a shirt, man. I was like, fuck it, man. I'm going in here, man, showing off the goodies. Trying to get me some hoes. I'm trying to get me some. I'm trying to ask them out the bitch overseas. You know what I'm saying?
Because it has been a while since I cleaned it thorough. But now I'm more cautious than ever.
Where are you
at?
I'm
not gonna get on a 5.5 hour flight.
I can rush you if you want to get on.
No,
it makes you think about how much.
Almost like 4.
Like I didn't think about this, and someone mentioned it online. Like when you're getting gas, I never once wiped that thing down.
Oh yeah,
there's just so much that you.
This guy, man, he's
really.
He's a damage dealer.
You just don't think about it.
Filthy people.
What are you playing?
Right now, when you wear a sweatshirt, when you go to the store, cover your
Burberry's
hand.
a bitch, man. He never wants to play PUBG whenever I'm on, dog. Whenever he is playing, man, y'all guys are full slot. And I jump in, who's the god at PUBG, you know, whenever
this is the way I'm living the next couple of weeks.
Can we get a dub
Every day
together?
the sweatshirt gets washed.
Yeah, I had to carry
sweatpants
you.
get washed.
Remember?
If I sit on a park bench or something, you know, I'm going to the park over here. Walk around just to loosen up because that's it.
Yeah,
you
no.
I wanted to.
No, we got like 3.
I just been walking around, but now.
No, we got 3 chicken dinners in a row because it was me, you, and Dope.
Every hooded
It was me, you, and Dope, man, and Church. And we got a win on Kraken. I think it was you and me, Burberry, at the end of that one. And then we had that one with me and Church. Remember when we fucking L-shaped them and they all ran into the fucking room? It was just me and Church.
This is going to be a crucial week.
So we got like 3 W's that night.
And next week.
No, I do remember that.
I hope
learning day by day.
The Rogan podcast in a couple months.
Bro, I told him I was gonna give him. I told him I was gonna give him one of my.
Dog.
Hey, I told him I was gonna give him one of my streaming. I told him I was gonna give him one of my streaming T-shirts for free. He was like, "Nah, man, I'm not wearing that shit." Thanks a lot, bro. Thanks for the support.
Bro. As far as I'm concerned,
just lie to him.
Like I told Joe Rogan, I'm starting
some
from
old
scratch.
barn or something like that.
Usually like a sun rag,
humor him or something.
Hey,
I will.
I'll send one to y'all, man. All I need you to do is just take a photo of it with you on it, so I can post it on my stream, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, am I gonna get a shirt? I sure did.
I'll send it.
Hey, you know what?
If you wear it,
this week we'll come down here one night and
I would wear it.
A little.
I want y'all to rock that shit out in public, man. Once this coronavirus fucking gets over.
Bro.
Don't just wear it now. Don't wear it now.
Don't
wear it now as a fucking
it's
nightgown.
Funny. It's just,
you know what I'm saying?
Nah, bro. It's gonna be my shirt.
You have to be cautious.
Like,
it's the same colors as my fucking logo,
work
bro.
every day.
Unreal.
So it's it's either on a black T-shirt or it's on a white T-shirt.
What are they?
It's like black and red.
I haven't talked.
It's got my logo on the front, and then on the back, it's got all my fucking media on it. My Facebook, my Twitch, my media, and my YouTube.
You know, Timmy's a truck driver, so they're by themselves.
I got that.
We got a stream going on too.
Somebody loves the truck.
Okay.
Rocco Sparto show.
He doesn't lose any money.
I know. Which?
What's that? Like a podcast?
Especially with planes down.
Who's that between
all the truck drivers?
You and him?
All the grocery stores.
Yeah, me and Bert.
It's a gay porn website.
If that got shut down,
oh, let me get in on that, bro. I'm fucking great, bro. I love podcasts, bro.
Just be thankful.
I could be the hype man, bro.
For what you do have. Stop
Maybe we do like a cross stream.
Said,
we'll cross stream ourselves.
I can't do that. For some reason, whenever I do that,
he's gotta go outside.
Whenever I fucking stream through all 4 of them, I can't do a co-stream on Mixer. I would literally have to just stream on Mixer for us to co-stream. For us to have like 4 cameras so everybody can see everybody.
No, you haven't been going to the weed store?
No.
We'll just run the show. We'll pit bullet.
That's why I said
I could run the runs in 2, so man. You know what I'm saying? I could be like the DJ.
I haven't been puffing that much.
Do they?
Y'all gonna get on our podcast?
Contained, like, do they have to touch it there?
We'll be live down there.
I don't know.
Okay.
I have not been puffing that.
You know what? You should initiate the podcast when you come down here. That should be your opening day.
I got so much stuff at the house. I don't need to go anywhere.
I'm tired of hearing about this shit, man. I'm not gonna believe it till I see you, bro. All right.
And there you go. You're out.
Until I'm balls deep in that ass, bro. I'm tired of hearing this shit.
You're out.
But I haven't been puffing as much. I've been eating edibles.
I don't give a fuck, bro. I'll create my own podcast. I'll call that the shit talking with Simpson, bro.
That's all you can do. You know, I'd rather be up.
Nope, and you're out.
Bro, I had a blog back in the day.
Last week I was
it was called Life Through the Eyes of an Asshole, bro. And I
myself,
blogged on that shit. And I talked about all my sex stories. It's kind of like a Tucker Max type of thing, bro. That shit popping, bro. Even after I stopped writing on it, I went. Still, I think I had fucking 50,000 people still coming to that shit to read it.
On the other one.
My views were up to 50,000, bro.
So high
I should never stop writing that shit. That's when I was in college, bro, and I was going to like this writing development class, and I was using what I learned in the class and putting it on my fucking on my blog, like punctuation, transition words, all that shit. My shit was like legit. It was popping, bro.
felt something that I hadn't felt since I was a kid.
I used to wreck girls on that shit, bro.
When I came from
I had a girl
Cuba,
that I slept with.
It was 1966.
And she had like 2 kids.
And
like I slept with her.
I went to like
and then
first
she
grade,
fucking. I was at my boy
kindergarten,
Macho's house.
grade,
And we were
there was
smoking.
always
And he
talk
was like,
of the Russian attack.
So right when I got there, bro,
we
right after I got done hitting that, I went over his house and she messaged me and she was like, "How was it?" And I literally wrote that. I was like, "Man, that shit was loose as fuck."
And then we walked into a building that actually had the sign. It had like a circle with a nuclear thing going through it, and it had fallout shelter. And they had like Tang, rice that you added water to, bottled water. You know, this is like way before like tanks of water.
Y'all can hear me?
It was bottled water, but tanks of water. And I remember that fear instilled in me.
We all hear you.
Like I still remember getting like
I don't know what those
immunized and all that stuff. And them telling you to prevent you from getting this and prevent you from getting that. All that came back. Like all that fear from being a kid, and it just you know.
Nah, this girl was like,
"How was it?" I was like, scared of everything.
The shit was loose, and then she told me, bro.
For a couple
this is
days
why I put her on blast on my blog. She was
Friday,
like,
once
"Oh,
I
my first kid scarred me." And I was like, "Damn, man, that's the most horrible thing to ever say, man. How you gonna blame your kid for your vagina being loose?"
Happy. I'm very happy. We went to the park.
Say normally that makes it, that helps it out because it gets tighter.
Like I said, I'm going.
That's like a
parks.
Line of shit.
Bro, I took her.
Because your immune system's the most important.
I took her to where I sleep. I slept with her in her car at a Winn-Dixie right down the street from my house, bro. I had her suck me up.
That's the most
at the Winn-Dixie, and then I smashed it in the back seat.
And that's what everybody.
And it was so bad that I was just like, my excuse was like, I'm tired. And then
I talked to my friend who's
I was like, I'll smash you tomorrow or something. And I went over to my boy's house.
It was like people were out, like nothing was
that's
going
when she
on.
said that shit.
I don't expect you.
And then what else did I do?
To become a hermit. I don't expect
oh, bro, I got the ultimate fucking story for y'all, bro.
You gotta try a little bit.
Oh my god.
I'm mad because there's no St. Patty's
Wait till everybody gets back to tell you this one, because this one's the most hilarious one ever.
There was a girl yesterday from my hometown that was putting up.
You can find this one
on Saturday. She was putting up all
the.
Like,
you really said that? I'm like, yep.
And I wish I could grab this girl by the neck and say to her, "You couldn't be this retarded." Like her and her husband dumped her for a younger girl.
The dope man fall asleep.
So she's trying to prove now she's my age. She's trying to prove that she still has something.
No, he's just doing the normal dope.
I mean, I just look at her Facebook to feel.
I hate when he does that, man.
Because you can't be this embarrassing. She went to every dump bar in Jersey. Like I went to high school with her, and she was putting up flyers like since Wednesday. Come to Club Sensation with DJ Vinny.
Do you dip too?
In Radiation Park, New Jersey.
Like
you know.
Copenhagen, Grizz, all that shit.
I don't do none of that.
No, it's like radio.
I'll smoke a black a mile once in a blue moon.
New Jersey's where cancer was
That's how I started,
by the Meadowlands.
I never smoked a cigarette until I was 21, bro. I used to smoke black a miles, and then I stopped smoking black a miles. And then as soon as I turned 21, I started smoking cigarettes.
I'm surprised you didn't call bomb threats into these places.
Oh my God, I was so frustrated. And everywhere she went, she put a video up. And the places
when you come out here to Florida, man,
the places were dead, and she's like pushing it, like, look at us having a good time.
Like I'm down in Florida, they had the Cubans down
was
there.
A mortadell. Like I wouldn't even have stepped
Cuban
out
sandwiches or Cuban girls?
Between her and the girl,
well, shit, all three. All the above.
Nah, you won't find a real Cuban cigar out here.
They were just both sitting there, and all these young guys around, like nobody's gonna hit on you. Go home.
You gotta go to Miami.
Go home. What are you doing at this bar in Hackensack, New Jersey? With a bunch of guys listening to AC/DC, I shook me all night long. Oh my God, it was the most embarrassing thing. They should all, and not one of those 19 people wanted to live. You could tell they had death on their mind. You could tell they're out there drinking and hugging each other. I'm like, you people don't want to live. I could tell.
You ready?
Because you cannot be in a bar like that.
Hold on, it's on 2 minutes.
I could not believe that yesterday. She went to not one bar.
Hey, there's
she put up like 6 videos.
There's dope in the background.
I saw them last night. I called my wife in the office. I go, this is a chick that'll be dead in 10 days. Look at her.
And you'll be happy about it.
I'm going to be jumping up and down. I'm the first one to send her roses because you can't be this done. Like I could see going out for a purpose, like if you got a purpose, but you're going to dive bars that are filthy. In northern Jersey, those bars are filthy. Filthy.
What about like movie theaters? I don't trust those.
I just don't feel like I'm getting buzzed. Man, ready up, man.
Nowhere to go. We went to the movies last week. We went to see Onward.
No, you haven't learned it. You don't check
down.
There you go.
We sat by
that's the only thing I don't like about Johnny Walker, man. It's just like, I know when I'm getting buzzed off a beer. Johnny Walker, like...
I was thinking about going to ArcLight.
I've already had 2 glasses of this, and I feel like I should already be buzzed.
You know, the movie about basketball.
I don't know what that is.
With the guy from the town. What's your boy from Boston?
Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck.
Hey, ask you.
Okay.
And I was like, what am I
dope,
done?
man.
I'm going to go there and breathe on myself.
Dope.
No, it's okay. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Gotta take off completely. 2 weeks. I'm not going into a restaurant. I'm ordering. I'm opening up the door. I'm putting the door stop on it so there's oxygen, because that's the most important thing is air. Like, that's why I said go to Cactus, because it's outside.
Smart.
You know, and I'll drive there. If I see too many people, I'll drive right
man, I'll tell you this first story. When I had my blog now,
I'll
was in writing development, man. It was called Life Through the Eyes of an Asshole. I put all my sex stories on there, like shit that I would do to girls. So I took this one broad, and she had like 2 kids, and it was like the first girl I ever slept with that had 2 kids out the back. So I only usually fuck with a bitch that only has 1 kid.
I don't know what it
2 kids is ridiculous. So I fucking ended up smashing this bitch right down the street from my house at the Winn-Dixie in the back of the parking lot, man. She was like sucking me up, and then I hit it. So then I went over to my, we're on Kraken. Hey, we're going right here, dog.
There's nothing.
Hey, never mind. Let me focus on this. I definitely want to win.
And I'm pretty excited.
I'll tell you this story when we get done. Right here, bro. We're dropping right here.
You can look at this 2 ways.
This is my spot. Let's go.
From a negative standpoint and get yourself sick about it, or you can look at it from a positive standpoint.
Not too hot doing the drops.
A future for yourself. And see that, it's going to be rough financially.
We wanted the first one to the left or one to the right?
The first one to the left has the best guns, but if we have to switch out, we will. But no, we're going to stand our ground. We're going right here to the left. We got a team going over there, too. You see him?
But if you do the right steps right now,
I don't see none around me yet.
No, he's behind you.
Plus, there's a lot to do. I have to do my taxes.
I bet I'll get there first.
Taxes got extended.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Taxes.
Don't tell me that. I'm gonna procrastinate again.
Taxes
land
got extended.
Land at the big house.
A lot of
right across the street where you're going. Right there. Yeah, land at that one. They're turning. They're turning. They're going to the middle one. They're going to the right.
For $5,000. That's not going to happen.
No.
Nobody's that good. So relax.
Dude, what the fuck?
Hold on to your money. You know.
There's a level 2 helmet in here for you.
Get refunds.
It's an extra one. I already picked one up. I got a score. Hey, we want to load up. Oh my god, M16 right off rip too. Oh my god, let's go, dog.
Get your money back right now. I'm telling you, get your $30 back right now.
And a tactical stock. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh yeah, we're going.
Get your money now.
I need a book bag.
Like May, April, get your money back. Don't even waste your time. I'm trying to be honest with you. I got 3 dates in April. They're at the store.
So they landed over here?
Those.
Yeah, they landed to the right compound, but there might be one over here with us because this door's open.
I'm just telling you that right now.
Opened up the door and ran to the other side.
5.5 hours to Florida in May. I don't see it. Get your money back now. I don't see it. I don't see it. I was very excited about going to Austin and El Paso till I saw DFW Airport
last night. This area quick because we want to go attack them first.
Austin, get your money back. Get your money back because it's not happening. At least I'm honest.
I just love the perspective from an established comic and a new like me. I'm like, I don't want to cancel. I didn't want to cancel a bar show. And you're looking at the airline, you're like, it doesn't look good.
I'm not going on it. I'm not going. Listen, LAX and Kennedy are both germ bombs.
Where's that gunfire coming from?
You know, tomorrow.
It's over there. It's over there at the big town. Come on, come on, bro. You got weapons?
And they closed the
I got a barrel.
That's
their area just got blown up.
That means if you
they're gonna be out in the open. Yeah, they're gonna be out in the open. They're gonna be out in the open.
You better listen. The only people who are gonna make money right now are gonna be Chinese people with the rickshaws. You know, like people who pull you.
It's a perfect time.
They're fighting at the right complex. Far right. There's a group right over here by me. I promise you.
That day. Get that mask and just get a rickshaw. Run up and down your street for a few days.
Yeah, they're right here.
Practice.
They're right here.
Get those legs in shape. Because listen,
they're on the shore. I think they might be on the shore.
Okay, guys, straight ahead of me.
That's the new setting. $7 gets you to the moon. You know what I'm saying? Just keep running, man. Just keep running, dog. It's all over.
Oh, he's in the fucking thing. I see him.
That's the new setting. You'll see it tomorrow.
Oh, his teammate's right here next to me.
What is it called again? Rickshaw. Uber rickshaw. Habib is showing up in 2.3 minutes.
I got him.
You
Stop
look
him.
up the corner, you see
I'm trying to get his boy. His boy's coming.
He's running. I see him. He's by the rock.
Dying, man.
I'm out of
I did
ammo.
not know you lived uphill. Yeah,
I'm gonna try to push him.
Downhill, be
He's pushing you. He's pushing you.
Just let me hop up there and let's get
Got
this
him.
party
We're
started.
Good shit. Go get
Wait
his
till
shit.
they have Uber
Yeah,
horse.
because there's another group, I
That's
think, at the
coming
other
out of the day
compound.
now. They just drop a horse in front of your house.
There's a level 2 book bag on me over here. Oh, this dude's got an M4. Oh my god.
That's perfect.
Let's roll.
Uber pony,
Let's
Uber
roll.
horse, Uber tank. Wait for like
Helmet on me, too.
$4.99, you get a tank per.
Clear out this
per
campaign.
minute.
We're still good in the
Uber
circle. Even if the
tank,
circle comes on top of us, we're
Uber
good.
horse.
Alright, I'm
Uber
just
horse.
getting
Right now, if you're thinking about
myself,
starting a new business and you want to get in shape, or you
together here.
CrossFitters, there you go. No more
It's all good,
CrossFit.
dog.
You can spend your time
One thing you gotta
picking
learn
me
to...
and Lee up. Ooh,
Oh,
what do you
yeah.
call that?
All right,
Rickshawing
we'll see
us
you, buddy.
around town.
See you next week.
I'll tip you heavy. I'm heavy with the tip. I want to see you make Laurel Canyon when you got to go up and down that hill. Just make one Laurel Canyon with me and I'll pay you whatever you want. But that's it. That's the futures right now. Rickshaw, rent out your horse, whatever. And you'll see it.
Yeah.
You'll see it. People will start getting smart, though. Somebody's going to get a car with like a little hitch, a U-Haul hitch in the back, and you can sit back there. You can breathe and get sun.
Well, they're already doing it. Have you seen the Uber drivers have they put up panels in their cars so they can sit there and not have the people breathe on them.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah, smart.
So glass, like the cabins do?
It's not glass. It's like plastic.
It's like forget it. You're getting the COVID. You might as well go to drive yourself to. You might as well Uber yourself to the hospital right now. That shield ain't gonna do nothing to protect nobody. But yeah, that's it. It's gonna be horseback, rickshaw, and tank, Uber tank.
I would love to see you on horseback. I think it would work for you.
Listen, I don't need to go anywhere that desperately. You understand me? My Subaru works great. They'll get me there. I filled it up just in case.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same.
Fill your car up. These are just little things you could do. You know, it's funny. People are, well, what's going to happen with the Netflix festival? Nothing. Netflix is shooting. Netflix is the only thing that's people are going to really watch a lot of Netflix. But there's no Netflix festival now. People,
you think so? You think they canceled it?
It's a month away. You know, people been hitting me up. Why is your name on the list? Netflix sucks. No, Netflix offered me a show. The problem is I'm doing a show already at the Wiltern in November. So I didn't want to do 2 shows at the Wiltern and then fuck myself.
Right.
People were hitting me up for like 3 days. Dog, I got tickets for Bert. How come you're not on Netflix? Netflix? No, Netflix is a great company. Netflix gave me a great opportunity. You know, anybody who put me on their stage gave me a great opportunity. I'm not mad at Netflix, nothing like that. That's why I didn't take the festival. I didn't take the festival because I already had a date at the Wiltern Theater. The festival came out of nowhere. It's LA. And to me, there's a comedy festival every night at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
So why would I sign up for a comedy festival? I got nothing against Netflix. I just thought that I think I had one of the dates already booked, and I'm doing the Wiltern by myself the day before Thanksgiving. Why would I worry about that? You know, so I got no ill regard to Netflix or whatever. I don't know why people were saying that shit to me. I just figured no. And it's so weird how when I shot Degenerates, I was very excited and I was very happy. It wasn't until I was coming home that I realized it was what I didn't want to do. It's so weird when you become a comic, like when you become an artist or whatever, you have to, in anything in life, you have to decide, once you decide you're going to do it, what things you will and what things you won't do. When I moved to LA and people were telling me about TV, and I always knew I wasn't going to do Letterman. I always knew I wasn't going to do Leno. I always knew I wasn't going to do a Tonight Show. I always knew I wasn't going to do Kimmel. I accepted that. I always accepted the Doug Stanhope route. I liked that he played the underground comic. I liked that. it felt. That's why when we started doing the podcast, I emphasized so much on listening because I wanted people to listen to the podcast like if they were listening to something dirty. Like the government didn't let them listen. It was like listening to rock music in Cuba in '79.
Right.
It just wasn't allowed, you know? And it was so weird that after I did Degenerates on the plane ride, I went through all these emotions for a few weeks. And I was angry, I was mad, I was happy, I was sad. And that's why I tell people, you don't know what you got. You know, you better be careful what you wish for because it just might happen. When I wished for a Netflix special, I wasn't specific.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So when they contacted me and said they wanted me to be a part of something, I said yes off the bat. And once I got there, you know, I was like, why are we shooting in a pool hall when we have 2,000 stages in Vegas? There was just so many little things that worked against me. You know, I felt like Netflix, I just ate a bag of shit on this special. So to this day, I'll say that. And I just moved forward. I came up with a different plan. And this plan is working for me more than the plan before. So once I did that and I realized I didn't want to ever be put in that position again, that's it. I don't ever want to be put in that position again. I'd rather just do my spots at the Comedy Store. All these things I do, when I stick to them, they work out for me, you know. And it's like I tell people, when you make a decision and you stick to it, eventually that thing will work out for you. But you have to stick to that decision. Once you go away from that, all the houses of cards fall, and you got to start all over again. You know, years ago, I used to get mad. Oh, nobody ever puts me in movies. Stop doing these $100 a day movies. When I stopped saying no to them, nobody called me ever again for them, and I booked a Stallone movie, and I booked a couple other movies. Why? Because I stopped doing those. You decide what you're not and gonna do, and it'll make your life that much easier down the line later on, you know. And that's why I didn't do the festival. I have nothing against Netflix. I think Netflix is a great company. They gave a ton of my friends a platform, you know. So when you get into something like comedy or art, or when you become a plumber, you decide somewhere along the line whether you want to be a residential plumber, a commercial plumber, a new construction plumber. You know, do you want to rip these walls down and find rats in there?
No.
Okay, so then you want to do new construction.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Well, you don't have to find rats. You know, when I was an electrician in Colorado, I did new construction, and I loved it. You know, very once in a while, you have to go into crawl spaces.
Oh.
That's where everything is. With electricity, you have to go through a crawl space.
And you can fit in a crawl space?
Then I could.
Okay.
Then I could. Now it's a different story.
That seems like a night. I get claustrophobic.
I'll never forget working as an electrician for one day in Hoboken. For $8 an hour, I broke down.
Why?
One day. I was getting, I think, 15 when I started in Aspen as an apprentice. And when I went to Hoboken, New Jersey in '83, I figured I'd do electricity while I was there. And I went to one company, and they hired me in Hoboken. And it was like when you gut these little brownstones. I'll never forget the guy going, all right, you go downstairs, we shut the power off. And me hearing like snakes and lizards and rats and crocodiles under there. I was like, I got to go for lunch. The guy goes, where are you going? I got to go get a soda. I got something in my throat. Bro, I walked up to that thing and I got on that number 22 bus. I think that's the bus that takes you to Hoboken from Union City to number 22. I think that's it. And I got on that 22 and I never went to Hoboken again, dog. I forget that. I got a job at an electrical supply warehouse. I'm not doing this no more. I'm not. I knew that wasn't for me. You know, you have to decide what you're going to do with what you got, you know. And the same thing goes to stand-up. People think it's better to want than to have sometimes, you know. You got to be careful what you want, what you wish for, because it just might come true. But you have to be specific.
Yeah. It sounds sort of like there was this thing that we've talked about with that book. How if you don't stick to your guns, like stuff will come up that seems good but is really getting in the way. Is that?
It's a law of diminishing return. It's like a dear friend of mine once told me something. He goes, man, I've been around a lot of people, and you're the only person I know that when you say no, you mean no. Like you have to stick to your guns in life. You know, it's really weird when you stick to something. That's it. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. And I'm going to do it like this until it breaks or until it's proven to me that this doesn't work. That's how we do everything in this life. All of us. You know, when we're spinning our wheels, we go, we're spinning our wheels. You know, at least for me, that's how it's always worked. I've always caught on while I'm spinning my wheels like, something's not right here. You know, with stand-up, I'm like anybody else. When I got into stand-up, I did anything that was thrown at me. I never said no to anything. For the first, till 2004, 2005 was when I started saying no to things. Because I had to. It was too much. I was getting taken advantage of. I just wanted to be a good guy and get on stage. I never cared about anything else but what was in front of me, being funny. I never cared about wearing the hat to be cool or bringing the drink up on stage to be cool or sipping from my straw to be cool or bringing a beer on. That never, you don't need none of that. Your job is to be funny. That's it. Everybody always, you know, what am I going to come up to? What song am I going to come out to? This ain't a dance. This is stand-up comedy. But somewhere along the line, you forget, and then you get back on course, you know? And that's it. That's what I personally think about that. But, no, I have nothing against Netflix. I just knew what I wanted to do, and I knew what I didn't want to do. And now who knows what's going to happen with this whole CoronaVid thing, whatever the hell, you know. Like I said, I just want you people to, I appreciate everything you've done for me over the years. Listening to the podcast, supporting the show, you know, laughing at my stupid jokes on Twitter, whatever. I want it to stay that way. I really care about you guys, man. And the reason I do this podcast is to let you know you got this. Whatever people tell you, society tells you, whatever, you got this. I don't care what anybody, you got this. You know how I know? Because they told me, society told me a bunch of things I couldn't do. And guess what? I did them. Even though they told me I couldn't do them. You got this. So, you know, stay vigilant these next couple weeks. Keep your eyes open. And just play it by ear. And don't get down. Getting down ain't going to help nobody. You know, you got credit cards. Use them. Not for stupid stuff. Not for stupid stuff. You know, the credit card companies are going to give you a break on payments now and stuff like that. Use everything that's allowed to you, you know.
And there's stuff you can do work online. There's a lot of places that you can do, like if you're, like look at Fiverr. Fiverr has a bunch of stuff you can do, writing stuff, edit stuff. If you're an artist, you can sell your, people still need stuff done. So there's a lot of ways.
What's Fiverr?
Fiverr, Fiverr. It's like anytime I have any artwork that I need done, it starts at $5, but it goes, you can set your own prices. And people do hundreds of things. They edit writing, they do video stuff. It's amazing. It's from all over the world. So you have to sometimes check, see if they're from in India or whatever. But even then, I've done like 10 things to them. I love it. And you can make some money that way. You can do these surveys and make a little bit of money.
They have online surveys you could do.
Mm-hmm. It's not great, but
listen, man. Even if you're just getting a hamburger from Wendy's, you know, for years I lived on the double menu. You know, the Whopper, not the Whopper, the Wendy's Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. I take off the bacon.
I like a good bacon there.
And I have a cup of chili, and I eat a salad. That was my thing at Wendy's. So don't let this get you down. Hang in there. And that's basically it, man. We covered it all today. It's a beautiful Monday. And all I can tell you is it's going to be a beautiful fucking day to be alive. But only you could ruin it or make it worse, or you could make it better. Stay in, mind your business, listen to podcasts, grab your notebook, do push-ups. You're in prison. You're in prison. That's it. You always want to be a badass and go to prison? You're in prison. That's what this is all about now. You do your push-ups, you do your sit-ups, you drink a lot of water. Give this a time to think. Think about your future. You know, I looked at the downside of this at first, and then I looked at the bright side of this. This is great. This is great. If you take care of yourself, look out for your loved ones, and just, you know that there's going to be an out to this. The most important thing is you not getting whatever's going around. That's the most important thing about this whole next 2 weeks. So please, just mind your business. You don't, yesterday I wrote, because that's what people are going to do. Did I tell you I have the corona and I called it at, get the hell out of my face. I don't even want to talk to you right now. Save on time, save on energy. When you go to the supermarket, they say face masks don't work. I don't know if they work or they don't, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Did those guys wear face masks on Saturday during the Fight Companion, or they just took a picture with them?
I didn't see that.
I didn't watch the Fight Companion, so I didn't know what they were doing. If Rogan,
how about gloves? I have gloves in the car.
What kind of gloves?
Like it starts with an N. They were all out of the other ones, but I have just a box of gloves.
Like plastic gloves?
Yeah, like doctors and food prep people, stuff like that, just in case.
Yeah, that's smart. These are all smart things, Lee. I want you to be around, man. And like I said, refund tickets. Do whatever you can.
That's so funny.
I'm telling you the truth. Get your money back. The improvs are closed till April 1st. So I don't know what you could do with the improvs. But for right now, get your money back. And not just from me, from all these stiffs. Get your money back. That's it. We want our money back. We don't know what's going to happen. I don't want nobody breathing on my neck because I want to see some guy jump up and down on stage like an asshole. Watch Netflix. That's what you got Netflix for. Watch them on Netflix. Put YouTube on. There's no way you need to go. Save your money. If you got Motley Crue tickets and all that, get a refund. That's $400. You don't know what's going to happen there. You don't want to be in no arena getting breathed on by some ex-COVID. Because what are they going to call these people? Once they get the COVID, what do you put on them? Do you put like a bug on their head or something? Like I had the vid, whatever. So you don't know who you're dealing with.
Let's go down a dark path. I don't know if we can start putting signs on people.
Sure. You got to put like a tattoo on their forehead like Ash Wednesday. Like Ash Wednesday. I had the COVID. Just to let you know, man. Can you imagine walking into a concert and this guy just got out of the hospital bed, but he's too stupid to go through the debunk period, so he wants to go see ZZ Top. So here he is jumping next to you with COVID germs in July. And you're like, oh, this is great, poison. And next thing you know, you're going to go home and you're going to have poison. No. We got to put COVID on their forehead, something to let us know they had the vid. You know what I'm saying? Something.
Oh, just start running them over.
I'm telling you. You can't run them over. I'm just saying.
Are you telling me if you saw one, you wouldn't at least like try to scare him a little bit?
What, like a COVID person?
Yeah,
walking like the
Yeah.
Listen, these people, it's not like they're like in Walking Dead. That would be great if they're like Walking Dead, because you can hit them with the car and get away with it. But no, I'm not talking about hitting nobody with a car. That Lee put those words in my mouth. If you have the COVID, I feel bad for you. But
don't talk to me.
But if you're an ex-COVID, stay to yourself. Stay in your own corner, all right? Put a little tattoo on your head. We got to put something on them to identify these COVID motherfuckers. Who had it? Because I don't want to be bumping into them. I don't want to be shaking hands with them. If you had the vid, that thing's going to live in you. If you had the vid, it's going to live in you for like a year, and I don't want no part of it. So don't be touching my chopsticks. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. Oh, I'm so sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. Like we said, we all have our breaking points.
Oh, I can't wait for like 2 weeks to see what this podcast is going to be like.
Listen, but think about it. Anyway, Don't think about nothing. All right? Don't worry about nothing. Get your refund. Have a great Monday. Uncle Joey loves you. We'll be back Wednesday with a fun one. This one's really going to get you on Wednesday, so make sure you listen to this one. It's my man Sam Tripoli dropping knowledge. As of right now, I got no dates, okay? It's over. I got April 20th at the store, 420, and that's it. That's all I'm doing right now, so don't even worry about nothing. The tour, I don't know what's going to happen with the tour. We're going to wait on that to see how many people drop dead, and that's it. That's all I can tell you right now. I hope I didn't offend nobody. I'm just trying to be as honest as I can. The church is also brought to you by ZipRecruiter. Listen, hiring used to be hard. Multiple job sites, stacks of resumes, a confusing review process, background checks. Knock it off. Today, hiring can be easy, and only you have to go to one place to get it done. You ready? Grab a pen. ZipRecruiter.com/church. Listen, ZipRecruiter sends your job to over 100 of the web's leading job sites, but they don't stop there. With their powerful matching technology, ZipRecruiter scans thousands of resumes to find people with the right experience and invites them to apply to your job. You can even add screening questions to your job listing so you can filter out candidates and focus on the best ones, like, did you have COVID-19? You could even have that on there. You can't have that on there. Anyway, do me a favor. Go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 4 out of 5 employees who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, to try ZipRecruiter for free, the church family can go to ZipRecruiter.com/church. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/church. ZipRecruiter.com/church for free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. I want to thank Onnit. I want to thank ZipRecruiter. But most importantly, I want to thank you guys. May God bless you and look over you over this trying time. And we'll be back Wednesday to rock your world. Stay black. Have a great Monday. Don't let times get you down. I will be doing gas mask comedy this week one day. We'll figure it out. We'll surprise you, all right? Stay black, stay healthy, and have a great Monday. Put that green sauce on it. Get that it's all working.
You gotta baptize it?
Baptize that mother. Come get a taco with Uncle Joey.
I don't know how hard this training thing is going to be on him. Brendan Schaub, he says he trains, but I don't know. He's looking a little thick these days, you know what I mean?
He looks like a Mexican Where's Waldo. Look at him back there. Looks pretty legit, though. Jesus is a beast. Although I saw him smoking cigarettes as I walked up, so I don't know. But you can't count those guys out, man. It's like the I don't give a shit attitude, you know? Are we running like this for reals?
I mean, yeah, I know he, was in the UFC and trained and can do all that stuff, but I don't know. I think I got him. Easy. I'll smoke his ass.
Back in the day, I think, hey, were you 300 pounds?
I was.
See, he was 300 pounds. So it took some work. It took a lot of nicotine and some discipline to get down to the lean, mean fighting machine he is now. Best friends.
Yeah. Coming in, yeah, flex.
How